Hello, everyone. How are you doing today? I'm doing amazing. I'm doing fantastic. I hope that you all are having a spectacular day. Thank you, Baphomet. Oh my gosh. Yes. Dargon. Yes. Hello. Yeah. Decoy Duck, thank you so much. The tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Got us started off strong with the $5 dono. I appreciate that. What's up, Mersh? We got Nuvanol. Hey, Gayfesh. Timerinia. Spider, of course. Hello. Hope that everybody's having a fantastic post Halloween. I didn't get to dress up for any specific Halloween purpose, so we're doing it today. Okay, we're doing it today. I had a lot of fun. I made a tragic error. Here's what I did. I got all this extra stuff this weekend. I went shopping a little bit, and I got the nails. Oh my god, the nails. I got those. I got the eyelashes and a couple other things. And because of the fact that I'm impatient, right? I wanted to put on makeup yesterday, but I was like, I don't really have any particular reason to put on makeup today. You know, I'm just going to have to wash it off. It's going to be a whole bunch of effort. So I put on the nails last night, you know, at like 9 or 10 p.m. And I was like, oh no, like tomorrow I have decided to do everything on challenge mode. So that is what today has been like. I put on all this makeup while I was wearing the claws. I attached these eyelash extensions with my claws. So that was fun. You know, Natalie Wynn said that it builds character. She was specifically talking about tucking. If you use your claw while you're tucking, builds character. But I think doing anything with the claws builds character. Typing, let me tell you, typing is a whole thing. It's not easy. It's like, even on my phone, I prefer typing on the computer. Don't like it on my phone so much. And now I'm like, I gotta do this on the phone. Like, I can't with the keyboard right now. Hey, Jim C, how's it going? Yeah, Spider, you were gonna make the ContraPoints reference, but you didn't know that I was already there. You didn't know. Yeah, so this character, I kind of have worn something similar to this previously, but you know, I just got done with the Renaissance Festival, and I've got all these friends who have like maybe even multiple characters that they do during the run of the Renaissance Festival. So this character, to me, I'm like, oh, this is Mephistopheles, right? You can call it Mephisto. I think it would be even funnier if I introduced myself as Phil, like Mephistopheles Phil. You can take that nickname out of there. It's stupid, but I think it would be funny, like, because you can be all weird about it, you know, like you know, just get into an affect. You may call this one Phil, you know, like, I just think it would be really funny. I think it would be very amusing. Like Danny DeVito from Hercules. Oh my god, I haven't seen Hercules in such a long time. He's so short, you know. I'm tall, you know. This is a demon character. Very Philosophy Tube. I kind of felt a little bit of inspiration from Philosophy Tube. Specifically, was it Jordan Peterson, the subject of that video, where she plays the devil, basically, and she's got the long nails. I was like, girl, in retrospect, we see you, you know? Yeah, it was Jordan Peterson. Okay, cool. We're going down to Mephisto's Cafe. Is that a song that I just don't know? All I can think about is Cats the Musical. Oh no. How am I reminding you of Cats the Musical? That's terrible. I hope that, well, are you talking about the actual musical or the terrible movie? That's the question. I'm gonna be gesticulating with my hands a lot today because just so much claws going on. So clean for challenge mode. Thank you. I like that, like, because of my angles on my monitors and stuff, you can actually see the lower, like, the red up here. It's tough. Anyway, I didn't say hello to everybody in the YouTube chat, so I'm going to do that now. Hello, Paulhack. What's up, M? Thank you for your patronage, if that was you today. Juniper, hello. What's up, Juniper? And hey, Danny, how's it going? Love the Horns makes me want to get out Bowsette and join the party. Hell yes. Hell yes. That would be fun. Yeah, I made these horns because I should play up the branding more often on the channel than I do, but I'm the dragon streamer. And so the horns are because they're my dragon horns, but it just also happens to work very well for a little demon cosplay. Just a little bit demon. Read my name here too. Yeah, sure thing, Spider. What's up, Phoebe? And Norman, hello. Strange Werewolf. Hey, I love your costume. Makes me want to put my black cat ears back on. I feel like every day is a day for cat ears, right? Like, you don't need an excuse to wear cat ears. That's just day to day. Hey, Jimmy Nails. I have black cat ears too. What's up, Kara? Looks like login does not work on Mac right now. Over on the website? Oh, gosh. I'm sorry. If it persists, let me know, and I'll get in touch with the White Nervosa, the site manager. Juno Alaska. Oh, just reminds you of the name. Okay, the name Cats the Musical. I see. And reminder, if you hadn't seen this top before, I made this. I made it. And then the, like, tutorial of the lady who made this original design, like, she took the video down, so I can't make any more of them. Yeah. I'm on a Mac right now, works fine for me, Spider says. If you're having issues, Kara, on the website on a Mac, you might just, like, clear your cache, clear your cookies, see if that type of stuff works. The pentagram knit, yes. I don't know if I've told you all this already, but I was actually in the middle of making, someone asked me, you can actually see it in the background there, it's that dark red yarn right here. Someone was like, oh my God, I love your top. Will you make me one? And I was like, hell yeah. And I was like, yeah, that's amazing. And I was like, I'll just charge you $40 for it. It won't be too bad. It won't be too difficult for me to do. And then, like, I got very not far into making the shirt, and then the lady privated the video. And I was like, I'm gonna have to pull out this shirt and, like, look at it and compare what I did. I'm actually considering just giving her money back at this point. I'm like, oh my gosh, this sounds like a lot of work. I thought there was a delay, but then I realized I wasn't watching live. Silly Billy. You silly little bean. Yeah, no worries, Em. I super appreciate everything. All the donos is super, super nice. What's up, John Keller? Nice look and hello. Hello. We have, like, so much news to cover today. I definitely wanted to touch base and say, hi, how are you? For, like, how was your Halloween? Did you do anything this weekend? I was meant to go on, to a wedding on Sunday, but then my partner wasn't feeling well, and we decided to go ahead and stay home just to be safe and everything. So ultimately, I ended up not doing as much stuff as I wanted to this weekend, but I got some things accomplished, you know? I got some stuff done. And then I figured, like, I'll just celebrate Halloween on November 1st. This is my day to celebrate the Halloween. Did any of you dress up? You got to tell me about your little costumes. Because my thing is, like, even if I'm not really going anywhere, I still want to dress up and be cute, right? You know? Phoebe says, my knitting project hasn't been going well as I messed up with casting off. The needles were really a bit too small, so it's all unraveling now, but I still tried. I can't knit to save my life, so I commend you for being able to do that. I can crochet, but I cannot knit for the hell of it. Like, not at all. Hung out with a friend this weekend? Good. I'm glad you're taking care of yourself. Dressed up as Nicolas Cage's character in Vampire's Kiss. Boovine, I've never seen Vampire's Kiss. That sounds like a lot of fun, though. Any Nicolas Cage character, that sounds like a lot of fun. I dressed up as a werewolf, so it wasn't a full moon, so I just wore normal clothes. We all wear masks every day in our own ways. What does it mean to truly dress up? Thonkers. Oh my gosh, Baphomet, what is this link? Oh, true. Yes, of course. Of course. Thank you so much for bringing up this incredibly important information. There are only two elements in the universe, and believing that it is any more complicated than that because of a few exceptions is absolutely ridiculous. Look at this. This is very easy to understand little infographic. Look at this. Do you see it? Look at this. 74% hydrogen, 25% helium, and only 1% other. Only 1% other. All elements in the universe are either helium or hydrogen. Get out of here with your woke ideology, okay? Come on. Juniper says, I was going to be Edward Scissorhands, but I didn't feel like dressing up, so I just watched Dracula with my partner Halloween night. Yeah, I watched The Thing last night with my person, and I'd never seen The Thing before. We watched the one from 1982, and it was pretty good. I had never seen it before, and I enjoyed it. That movie is where Nick Cage says the whole alphabet start to finish. Why? I dressed as a gothic black cat, says Strange Werewolf. Hell yes. Enjoy being your gothic cat self. Beginning to end, all day, every day. Yeah, right. You are Cobalt. How many more made up genders are the woke mob gonna come up with next? Oh my god, my xenogender is Oganesson. What is that? Is that that's some element that I don't know the name of? Went to a screening of Rocky Horror Picture Show. That sounds like so much fun. I love singing in communal environments, and I can just imagine like singing in a whole theater of people being like, let's do the time warp again. That would be fun. I also need to just watch that movie in general because it's been a while. I dressed my 3 rats up for Halloween. I got angel bat wings, dressed up one of them like a little dragon. I got one of them bat wings. I dressed another one up like a little dragon and a little witch's hat. I didn't get any trick-or-treaters this year, however. Yeah, it's a weird year for trick-or-treaters, I feel. It depends on what your weather is like, for sure. Went trick-or-treating. I'm living in the closet so I don't dress up. I mean, Jimsy, I feel like Halloween is the one time, right, that you're allowed to just like cross-dress openly and it doesn't really matter. For sure. One of the most recently discovered synthetic elements, highly radioactive and only lasts a few seconds. Organesson. That's cool. I listened to some horror podcasts for fun and then watched seasonal movies. I don't get into like horror podcasts, I guess. Not like true crime or whatever. Like, I just don't get it. Had a very good friend from abroad who told me she was seeing a horror movie with her friends. The next day she told me how weird it was and that it wasn't very scary and not very PC. And I lost it when she told me it was Rocky Horror. She went to see a scary movie and then it was Rocky Horror Picture Show. Wow. It does start off seeming really scary, for sure. Like, Rocky Horror does start off seeming pretty spooky. Raining last night for Halloween. Yeah, and I also know that in a lot of places, like, because Halloween was on a Monday night this year, a lot of places do their festivities on, like, Saturday night, you know? If you have a local mall or something. Yeah, it has horror in the name. Rocky Horror certainly isn't PC. That's true. Seems scary and then just gets campy. It is very campy, and I love it so much. Oh, narrative horror fictional podcasts. That makes more sense. I've also not listened to any of those, but I'm more amenable to that. I feel like Welcome to Night Vale sort of borders on a horror fiction sometimes. I don't really like Rocky Horror, TBH, IDKY. I don't know if I would like it if I was... Listen, here's the thing about Rocky Horror Picture Show. Are you ready for some lore? Do you want some lore? Get ready for it, because when I was a young warthog of about 2 or 3 years old, my parents, like my mom, I guess, in particular, I cannot remember which one of them was behind this, but my parents let me watch Rocky Horror Picture Show, and I was obsessed with it, like so obsessed with it. I was like, every time I wanted to watch it, I was like, put on the movie with the lady. And I was referring to Tim Curry. I'm like, put on the movie with the lady. I want to see the lady. And so we, like, when I was like 3 years old, I got the VHS of Rocky Horror Picture Show in my Christmas stocking. So it's like my parents were not weirded out by this. My parents, if anything, were sort of encouraging this. So yeah, I don't know who was responsible for that at the time, but yes, the VHS of Rocky Horror that we had for a while was like the one that I got in my stocking when I was 3. So if you wanted to know why I am the way that I am. Do you want recommendations? I am probably not going to spend very much time listening to podcasts that aren't like... I just started up a music theory podcast today to learn some music theory stuff, which I'm excited to get into some more. Yes. Tim Curry's such a gender fluid icon. I know. I saw Welcome to Night Vale live. Ooh, that sounds like fun, Slaps Hungry Bears. We would run Rocky Horror Picture Show at midnight, just like we ran X-rated films. The theater company thought the crowd would be rowdy for it, and they certainly were. Yeah, it does not surprise me. It's such a shame the Rocky Horror writer is a turfy shitbag. Yeah, Dave. Whatever. Nobody cares. What is the character's name in the movie? What is their name with the long hair? What is... it's right there on the tip of my tongue. We've got Magenta... Talking about the guy with the long hair and the balding. Riff Raff, thank you. Thank you, Tabaxi Bay. Thank you. Yeah, nobody cares what Riff Raff's opinions are Riff Raff. We don't care. Hello, Katya. Welcome. Yes. I believe the character's name is Mephisto. I gotta say, if my first watch of Rocky Horror wasn't a live public screening, I would probably dislike it too. That, you know, I asked my partner to watch it like 12 years ago when we were first dating, and he was like, I don't really like it. And I'm like, I don't know if you understand. Like, I don't know if you can understand, right? James Hetfield dressed as Eddie Munson. Thank you, Rebecca. Oh my God. I'm having a fun time. Best to watch it with people who like it already. Yeah, so that you can get into the fun of it. Like, let's do the time warp again. I'm in a dancing mood. I put the music on before stream and I was like, yeah, like I'm so ready for it. I'm in such a good mood today. I don't really like podcasts. I got into this one that breaks down Tyler, the Creator's Igor album. Breaking down the music. That sounds fun. Well, there's your problem about a podcast about disasters, which is in itself also a disaster. That sounds fun. Hello, NBJ. Yes, it's time for horns. I'm going to gather all my Squish friends and watch Rocky Horror Picture Show for the first time. I know, like, Rocky Horror really is a classic thing. I wonder sometimes, do the younglings know about Rocky Horror? Yes, the whole stream is a horny stream today. Actually, in reality, the whole stream is, I have a lot of in-depth topics that we can talk about. Like, I would like this to be at least a 3-hour stream, and it might be longer because I've got so much stuff to do. I've got so much stuff to talk about. I don't want to, like, mess it all up now. Like, I don't want to, like, blow all my load now and then there's not enough news between now and Thursday, though, you know? There's always that. So maybe we'll save some of it for later. It depends on how much we can get through, because boy howdy, there's so much. I'm developing a second podcast right now just to branch out away from Star Trek stuff. What's it going to be about? I want to know. The Siltverses is a horror podcast recommendation. Anybody in the chat who's interested in that stuff? I rarely listen to musicals unless I'm intoxicated. Gonna do general media critique. That sounds like fun. It's really like become a special interest of mine. Like, my job is politics and political analysis and awareness and all that shit. But like, when it comes to how I spend my free time, wow, like it's all film analysis and cinematography. Yes, slurs, of course. Slurs are my job, for real. I still haven't learned to accept my horniness, TBH. It's a process for some folks, for sure. It's going to be called Many Worlds Hypothesis, and the goal is to have a rotating cast of guests. Well, I mean, podcasts are like really low effort and a great opportunity to keep regular contact with your friends, I find. So if you want to have me on every once in a while, Gayfish, I would be down. Like, one of my most consistent friendships throughout the years is my friend Kat, who I do a podcast with. Our podcast is called MKG. And it used to be called the Transatlantic Podcast many years ago before we went on a like very long hiatus. But it's like, if you're in a situation, it's kind of like a coworker, I think, where you're like obligating yourself to speak to someone on a regular basis. So you get in contact with them, you speak to them, and you do a little bit of like getting to know each other before the stream, you know, catching up, or before the podcast recording actually starts. And then you do the podcast, and it's like, okay. And if you're doing that like a couple times a month, then you like, it's more friend conversation than I usually have. So it's a good way to be consistent. Good to know about your pod. Yes. Our most recent podcast, we talked about surgery. Kat just had facial feminization surgery. So we were talking about surgical recovery, and I shared some of my apprehension about the possibility of getting bottom surgery. So yeah, it was a really good time. Mushrooms are great for musicals too. I'm 17 and my friends and I are into Rocky Horror. We got into it as younger teens during the pandemic. That's cool. That's really good to know. Like, it's kind of like that S, you know, the S that you draw in the textbooks with the, like, you start with the 6 lines and you start connecting all the lines, and it's that cool little S. Like, when you find that the kids are still doing that, you're like, yes, everything's okay. The kids are still in a Rocky Horror Picture Show. There should be a link in the description on the YouTube page to the podcast, and it's called MKG. So I don't know how easily you're going to find it if you just go searching, but you'll find a link in the description. Phoebe, you know the S. Yeah, you know the S. The S. What if I just type the S? Bro, I just typed the S, and Google was like, yeah, I know what you mean. This is what I mean. This thingy. What's up, Elite Snipers? How's it going? I'm doing pretty good today. I'm very much enjoying being on stream. We've got some really excellent topics to talk about today. We are chilling and just vamping up in the lead up to actually getting into our serious discussions today. That is how we do. That's how we do. Andy says, I won't be here for long. Just wanted to say you look bossing in an NB way. Thank you. I'm feeling my it-its energy today. What's weird is that this feels like it-its or he-him. Like, I think Mephisto is a he-him. I showed you my stussy. Please respond. True. Yeah, Google's on point. Google knows. She knows. Yeah, Bridget Empire is the name of my co-host Kat's channel, Bridget Empire. She's very cool. Desperately need dental insurance. I'm thinking about that myself. Like, I think I need to start getting some fillings. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you so much. I'm enjoying. I had whole school books full of my poor attempts at the cool S. Danny says, I'm playing Satisfactory and the S is literally a collectible. That's awesome. I've never played Satisfactory before, but that's awesome. Remember when it was really cool to be able to write in bubble letters? I once had a classmate who competed in using pencil shavings, and I was in awe. The girls would always compete using the bubble letters, and I would try, and I just couldn't do it. It just didn't work very well. I'm not great with calligraphy and stuff. Like, I need to get much more relaxed about it, I think, is my main problem. The Who's, Quadrophenia, and the rock opera Tommy tended to be popular with my college friends who also liked the Rocky Horror Picture Show. That's cool. Sorry you're in pain, NBJ. Or the kids who could write super, super small. I can write pretty small. Satisfactory was made in my hometown, says Vito Rota. Clocked by pen personship. I mean, honestly, like, my handwriting has always been kind of non-binary / more boyish. The girls, all wrote in a very specific way that I just never picked up. Anyhow, oh my god, where am I? This is what I wanted. So, I've made a tragic mistake. Oh, Repo the Genetic Opera is another rock horror musical that has similar vibes to Rocky Horror Picture Show. Yes. If you're not already familiar with Repo, ! The Genetic Opera, it's really good. It's so good. And I love it. My high school girlfriend told me that I had girly handwriting. Oh no. Gay through and through. It's legit more scary than Rocky Horror. Yes, it's definitely Repo is definitely more unexpected. There's definitely more scary shit that happens unexpectedly, Tell me why are my genetics such a bitch? True. Oh my god. Repo at the disco. True, Nouvenal. True. I'm glad that everybody's so hype on Zydrate right now. Like, my voice is in no condition for singing. Bro, this is one of the great things about being transmask, okay? Is that when I was on T the first time, I was really into Repo the Genetic Opera, right? And so there's that song at the beginning. He's like, industrialization has crippled the globe. And I remember being able to sing all that shit for the very first time. Nature failed as technology spread. Like, it just keeps... There's no end to my pleasure at being able to do that. In my maths work, I would put little faces on my shapes and draw little stick men conga lines over the page. True. Lest it be you on the concrete below. I can't do it today. Low. Nope. Earlier in the morning I would be able to, but I've been talking all high pitch all day and I can't do it, and it's sad. But the first time I did it, like, I was holding a coffee cup, like an empty coffee cup in my hand, like, below. And it just, like, I could feel the coffee cup, like, resonating. I have autistic handwriting. I have a lower register than I thought, but it was still a little tough to do some mask parts. The thing about singing really low is that it's much easier to do early in the morning, you know? Early in the morning, you can bring out your Josh Turners. Would you go with me? Listen to country music if you're trying to masculinize your voice, is the long and short of that. Grave robber is definitely peak gender. I know! Grave robber is like such an idiot's dream. It's not even a joke. My handwriting hasn't changed since I was like 6 or 7. I think it's because of my autism. Mine settled when I was like 12, I think, and I've had the same handwriting since then. Do well with Black Hole Sun. Black Hole Sun is too high for me. Black Hole Sun, won't you come? I mean, it's fine. It's like, I guess, within range. Oh no, my ex looks like the grave robber. No! Oh my gosh. Okay, I made a tragic mistake, which is that I was drinking beer before stream and I didn't realize how much beer that I drank before stream. So I'm going to take a quick little run to the bathroom. I'm going to be as quick as I possibly can. When I get back, we're going to start talking about the news. So while I'm gone, if you've not already hit the like button, please consider hitting the like button. It's free for you. It's super fast. It helps the channel. It's going to immediately bring a few more people in so that we can get started. Okay? So give me like 2 minutes. All right? Just 2 minutes. Okay, I'm back. Ooh, taking a break that early in the stream is a mistake. You lose a lot of people, but that's okay. Early in the morning, rising to the street. Is that what we're singing now? What are we doing? Rammstein? We're doing Rammstein. I'm not familiar with Rammstein, okay? You guys in chat are gonna start talking about whatever you're talking about. All right. We gotta figure out what the news is, because holy shit, I have so many. Oh, early in the morning was supposed to be a sea shanty line. Okay. To me, I just went like, what? Is that Sublime? Early in the morning, rising to the street, light me up that cigarette, and I strap shoes on my feet. It's Rammstein. Rammstein. Not Rammstein. Okay, Rammstein. I will be respectful of the German language. Thank you very much. Okay. Classic country music. I listen to country music covers a lot, right? But it's if you're trying to masculinize your voice, listen to country music. There's going to be more options for you. Stien. Rammstein. Why is German so complicated? Why are languages so complicated? Hey, Raccoon Pope, welcome in. Kara said, I chuckled at another non-binary that I cracked both high and low during singing at one song. Singing along with one song. Yeah, like, your voice, it does weird shit sometimes. It's hard to predict. Like, I can feel it, though. I'm like, now is a bad time to try to sing. Like, at least very far out of a certain range, you know? It's like, if I try to go too high, it's gonna break. If I try to go too low, it's gonna break. It's not a good day for singing on stream today, but that's all right. Because honestly, I like, personally, here's my thing, and I think that other people feel this way as well. I'm looking through my stream notes as I vamp and I talk to you. I think that actually, if I watch TikToks of people singing, like outside the context of like a very structured music video, I find it really cringe. Like when people are doing these like da 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 blah blah blah, like, and they're like dancing and also singing with their actual voice in the music, like in the thing, like, boy, I don't know why, but I think that's really cringe. So I can kind of understand if people are here in the stream and I start going like, but look, I made you some content. Daddy made you your favorite open wide. Like, I can understand people being uncomfortable with that, even though I just think it's really funny. I just find it very amusing. The stars have to align right for singing. That's fair. Sea shanties are good to train your voice to be more mask. What's a sea shanty? Do I know any sea shanties off the top of my head? I mean, there's the Wellerman, of course. Like, soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. That one's not even that low, TBH. Sing-along TikToks are fun. Maybe I should get into the big business of TikTok sing-alongs. Oh my god. Would that be fun? I'm actually not on TikTok very much. We're going to watch something on TikTok today. We're going to watch like one thing on actual TikTok today. It's going to be crazy. Okay, where am I? I was looking for my chat. There's my chat. I found it. What do you do with a drunken sailor? Here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing, Decoy Duck, about what can you do with a drunken sailor, is that I just got done with 2 solid months of Renaissance Festival. And I would rather not hear or think about what can you do with a drunken sailor for like 10 months. That would be ideal. If I didn't have to hear or think about the song What Can You Do with Drunken Sailor for like 10 months, that would be ideal. Yeah. Anyway. Probably tired of the song about the Drunken Scotsman. I like the Drunken Scotsman. I was trying to think of the words to that one. How does that one even go? The Drunken Scotsman. He's like, well, lad, I don't know where you've been, but I see you've won first prize. Like, I don't know most of the words to that one, but I like that song. If you're transmask and want a voice train, just listen to the acoustic version of Mein Heeresbrand. That's ideal voice goals. We're talking about Rammstein still. Okay. I'm moving things around here. Seeing if I can put my chat in a place where I can actually see shit. Okay, cool. I work with a few retired sailors. Retired from drinking or sailing. Oh my god, don't worry, Lux. The next 2 months, you'll only be hearing Mariah Carey. From now on, like, until the end of the year, every time I go to the store, I'm gonna wear headphones. Like, I just can't with the fucking Christmas music. Oh my gosh. Let's see what news we have. Okay, like, what are some things that we could talk about today? Actually, you know what? I'm gonna talk about, leading off here, I want to talk about something that's... It's just a unique opportunity for me to talk about like some of my evolving thoughts, all right? Because I just kind of realized sometime in the last year or so that I am just rapidly becoming an anarchist. Like, I didn't really realize that that's what was happening to me. But as the ideas sink in and you're like, why is this happening? And why is this happening? And why is that and this? Like, you start to realize like, oh, like the state exists to in its fundamental function, one of the things that it does is draw all the violence in toward itself and say, you're not allowed to commit violence. We have the monopoly on violence. We can do what we want violently, and there's nothing you can really do to stop it, and you just start thinking about these things more and more, and you evolve in your thinking, and you're like, wow, landlords are bad, and like capitalism is bad, and the state kind of upholds capitalism by reinforcing the laws about landlords. What a fucked up thing to happen, you just kind of continue going on and on and on, forever and ever. We're not talking about bathrooms and Caitlyn. We'll get there. Okay, I've got like 7 topics today. We'll get there. I have like 7 things on the docket, and I have like at least a dozen links that we need to look at today. So much to do. Bailing out big corporations too. Yeah. Like a big part of what the police do is reinforcing property rights, like going after people for theft, like including going after people for theft when they stole from a gigantic corporation like Walmart, like all these things. So I just kind of have gradually realized that, oh boy, I am maybe a bit of an anarchist. And with that comes a lot of questions. Like you have to answer a lot of logistical questions, right? Like in the absence of a government, how do you deal with, I don't know, schooling as just fucking one given issue? Like how do you figure it out? And I have found it frustrating as I've watched these conversations bear out. Like if you remember the big fight that like Vosh had with Demon Mama, and there was all this conversation happening around some tweets about supply chain, and like I think it was actually ultimately tweets that Doe had posted initially, and they got everybody talking about like, oh my god, these anarchists, they want to like make medicine in the bathtub and they don't care about supply chain. Yeah, the supply chain discourse. Yes, the bathtub estrogen discourse. You all remember. There are a lot of like logistical questions. So you found out that you're an anarchist, a book that Doe Cord regularly should be writing. I'm not a member of Doe Cord. Maybe I should be. Right. Like that conversation between them was pretty toxic, and there was a lot going into it. And it's made me more interested in these sort of ongoing conversations about how do you deal with all these things in the absence of like the existing structures. Like, can we take the existing structures and mold them, whatever, what are incentives as well to do things in a society where things are being distributed in a more even way? We're like, excuse me, people are always like, oh my god, like why would anyone like be a garbage man in a society where everybody gets universal basic income, or like nobody technically has income because money doesn't exist anymore? Like, why would people do hard jobs if there's not a financial incentive, is the fundamental question. Another Lux stream. What's up, Chum Guzzler? Absolutely. Doe Cord is so intimidating. How do you get into Doe Cord? Where's the link? I don't know where it is. I don't know how to get into Doe Cord, but if you want to get into the Luxander's Lair Discord, hit the link down below or up here, depending. Are you on the website or down here if you're on YouTube? Do it. I've done hard things because they were personally fulfilling. Yeah, there are a number of reasons to do difficult things, right? But the idea is like, you know, if it's not for your personal fulfillment, like it's not like you go become a trash man for personal fulfillment. For most people, it's not like, oh my God, like I love the job of being a trash man. Oh my God, like I feel so personally fulfilled, and I love the person that I have to be in order to do that difficult job. Like, you know, why would you do that? These are some interesting and genuine questions. Most people don't treat it like it's an interesting and genuine question. Most people treat it like, oh my God, I'm going to use this as a gotcha. Like, haha, here's why your ideology doesn't work. Or like, I demand that you have literally all the answers and like come up right now with like from the ground up a functioning system, even though the system that we currently have is like built on hundreds of years of systems, you know, like as though you could independently come up with those systems today in the absence of any other feedback. Anyway, so on that note, I saw this post coming out, you know, someone retweeted it, someone quote tweeted it, deciding to take a look at some anarchist explainer online. Hold on, yes. And no, it was exactly what I thought. Like, these people aren't surviving the first winter. Okay, what is he criticizing here? Okay, what is being said? Who will take out the trash? This is, I believe, some kind of anarchist opining on a potential future. If everyone is free to work as they choose, who would take out the trash or perform other undesirable jobs? Fortunately, in a localized anti-capitalist economy, we could not externalize or hide the costs of our lifestyle by paying someone else to clean up after us. In the way that currently, like, there's kind of an underclass of people whose job it is to just take our trash away without us, like, really knowing what happens to it after that. We would have to pay for the consequences of all our own actions, rather than paying China to take our toxic waste, for example. If a necessary service like garbage disposal were being neglected, the community would quickly notice and have to decide how to handle the problem. People could agree to reward such work with small perks, nothing that really translates into power or authority, but something like getting to be the first in line when exotic goods come into town, receiving a massage or a cake, or simply the recognition and gratitude for being a stand-up member of the community. And this person, like, continues, like, if a necessary service was being neglected, people would just deal with it. Wow, I'm so glad to know that would happen by itself. What a serious ideology. Like, yeah, man, you're like listening to this with the intent of making fun of it. Why be fash when you could be fesh? Ooh, Docord. Okay. I will have to click that link later. Reminds me of who does the dishes after the revolution. Yeah, I mean, like, I personally think that there are, like, I mean, obviously, if you live in a community where you don't have a government to take care of trash, like, if you're in a situation where garbage disposal is not happening regularly enough, and you don't have a structure like the government to kind of, like, offload onto, like, it's a little bit of a bystander effect thing, right? Where, like, maybe if we didn't have the structures in place that are supposed to take care of trash now, we would probably come up with some local solutions. You know, we would probably come up with some kind of means by which to keep our communities clean. You know, we want to be able to walk on the street without having a bunch of trash around, generally. Like, that's something that we want as a community. It's easier to take action and care about those things, really, if there isn't some idea in your head like, oh, that's someone else's job. Like, if there's trash on the street, like, if you're walking on the sidewalk and there's trash on the curb, like, in the street, you might think, like, oh, you know, whatever, I'm not gonna pick up that trash. Like, even if it's, let's say it's explicitly dangerous trash, like it's, you know, the plastic rings for a 6-pack of beer or something, you might be like, oh, you know, they come by with the street sweeper machine every once in a while, you know, that's fine, whatever. Like, it's easy for you to neglect your personal responsibility. Do you know what I mean? But it's not like there aren't, you know, it's not like there aren't perks besides, like, the ones that are explicitly being outlined here. Like, it's kind of strange, the idea of receiving a massage in exchange for doing some difficult job like garbage disposal. Like, that, I think, introduces an element where it feels like, oh, so you are going to reward this person's labor by conscripting this other person's labor. Like, it's just, I don't know, like, that's not really the case, but it just sounds like that. I don't have all the answers for anarchy, but I still like the idea. Right, like, this is the beginning of a conversation. This is a beginning of a dialogue about potential ideas of things that we could do. I wish that people would entertain it as that. Like, I would like to start a conversation about some kind of alternative to the way that we're doing things now. And instead of being like, I demand that you just have the entire answer, like, I want people to see it as an opportunity to discuss. But, like, even without the idea of actual rewards, like, there is a possibility that being allowed to be the first in line when exotic goods come into town could lead to some kind of hierarchical situation where that person ends up, like, with a lot of exotic goods, right? And that, you know, that could just introduce an element of unwanted market dynamics, potentially. But a lot of the shit that happens within our communities, like, we benefit from directly because we live in our communities. When we someone was complaining in the replies to this, like, oh yeah, they said, I love filling in a pothole on the road into town so that I can receive a cake. Like, at my last place that I lived, I was seriously considering buying or like going door to door on the street and like raising the money to buy like a nice 5-gallon bucket of like road fixing asphalt, because the road, like the little tiny back road, side road that I lived on was fucked up, and I wanted to be able to drive on the road. And I was like, this is basically like I want to do an anarchism right now. Like, what I want to do is go door to door and say, here's a problem in our community, can you contribute like a little bit of money? Just like we need to raise a little bit of money so that we can afford this object that we all need together. And then I would be willing to do the labor, like, because I want the road to be drivable. I want my car to not incur additional damages that I will then have to pay for, right? You benefit when your roads are not filled with trash. Like when you have a central trash system, or even a, like, you know, my question is, where is all the trash going? Is it going to be burned up in the atmosphere? Turn the trash into asphalt tar. True. Doing the labor because it improves your life and the lives of others near you. Imagine. There are definitely more ways to improve and to benefit than just monetary reasons. Better argument. Anyone who takes out the trash becomes king for the day. No power, but a neat crown and the ability to get the bartender's attention quite easily. That's totally fair, right? And yeah, when it comes to like something like taking out the trash, like, you know, do you not take out the trash in your own home? Do you not do the dishes in your own home? Like, labor needs to be done, so it's done. And when you live in a community, labor needs to be done within the community, so labor just gets done within the community. Like, I truly do think that if we had less reliance on centralized systems, we would come up with individual solutions. Because if you have trash around the community, then you get rats, and rats bring disease, and there's also going to be like more cats around and more dogs around and like more snakes around who want to eat the fucking rats. Potentially a lot of health issues. There's a reason why we structure society in the way that we do currently, and that is because, like, if you don't have central sewage systems, then you have fucking E. coli outbreaks all over the place, right? Hot question. Do we need roads under anarchism? Will we need cars to get to where we need to go? Is that helpful as it is currently? I don't think you can completely phase out cars, because, you know, like, for example, like, I consider myself at this point high risk for COVID. I'm going to always prefer to take my car or walk, or maybe ride a bike or something. Like, if I had a little moped, that might be something that's preferable. Like, maybe if we had more mopeds, which are still motorized, fewer cars, like an alternative to public transit, because I don't want to do public transit. For sure, I don't want to do public transit. Travel needs to be allowed, but the amount of cars people have right now is crazy excessive. I agree with that. I for sure agree with that. We probably can't build train tracks everywhere. You know, we can do more buses and trains, but we still are going to need cars, I think. Yeah, Slaps Hungry Bears says, it sounds like people are just scoffing at the idea that, I don't know, the community would find a solution to the problem by, like, I don't know, discussing it. This is what I'm saying. Like, people who are opposed to anarchism also seem really violently opposed to genuine dialogue, where we actually try to discuss ideas and come up with solutions, and not even just come up with, like, even just the discussing of ideas. Like, I think it would be really cool if we did this. And someone's like, oh, what if we did this? Or like, oh, what if we did this in order to do that thing you just said? You know, if you spend 5 minutes just talking about possibilities, instead of just immediately trying to launch to a solution, because usually when you launch to a solution, you end up like, it's like an ad hoc argument almost. Like, you jump to the conclusion of, we need to have a stateless society, and then you come up with all this bullshit to, like, get us there, when in reality we need to be doing all the incremental bullshit first. Excuse me. Decoy Duck, thank you so much with the gifted tier 1 subs. I appreciate that. Enjoy your dicks, everybody. Thank Decoy Duck for the dicks. We had rail from sea to sea in like 1900. I think our rail lines did used to be a little bit more robust, because we didn't used to have cars. You needed to have trains in order to get shit places, right? And now mostly the trains are more for like transitive goods rather than transitive people. We cannot build rail lines to everywhere, but we can pack everything more densely together and build more streets. I don't know if I feel that things need to be made more dense. I don't know. I mean, I guess like, I'm from Kansas City originally. Like, Kansas City is a pretty fucking sprawling mess. It would probably be a lot easier to navigate if it were a little bit more dense. Like, a little bit more just, okay. Have you been to Kansas City, Baphomet? Because yeah, it's oh god. You get to a point with these, you get a big city like Kansas City, right? And then you've got like, you know, Roland Park and fucking Mission, Kansas, and fucking whatever. And then like Kansas City itself gets like bigger and bigger. And then basically this entire area is Kansas City, technically. But like, as far as the USPS is concerned, like, this is still Roland Park. This is still Mission, Kansas. Like, but technically it's all Kansas City because it's all fucking bleeding together. Suburbs are a cancer. Andy says, I have a strange feeling that there will be a huge decrease in labor from those that don't feel like doing it, as in more bums and society could fall apart. Just a theory, a life theory. That doesn't bear out in the studies. We've done studies on what do people do when they're provided with a universal basic income. Universal basic income just being like, they write you a check for $1,500 a month. And that's not very much money, but it is enough to pay your rent and to buy you a little bit of food or whatever, depending on where you live, right? When people are given a universal basic income, they do usually still work. They might temporarily stop working, but they generally do go back to work. However, here's the thing. They only work for about 25 hours a week. Because people want to be working, they want to be contributing, they want to be doing something, they want to be speaking to people. They want to be a part of society. However, they don't want to feel like they're required to, or that they're stuck in their job because they can't find any other work. They don't have any options. When you provide a universal basic income, you give people a little bit of power to say, listen, if this job doesn't treat me right, I'm going to be eating rice and beans for a month or two while I look for another job, but I can just leave this job and I have income and my rent is going to be paid. Okay. Yeah, and there is an implication that there is some need to coerce those people to work. If you think like, oh, people don't want to work, then, you know, there is some kind of natural implication there of like, well, people don't want to work, so we have to try to make them. Do you want to live in a society like that? Or would you rather live in a society where people who don't want to work aren't made to, and people who do want to work can contribute freely to their society, right? The same powers that give us plumbing and transportation and waste disposal are the same powers that facilitate the violence and injustices committed by the state. I mean, basically, if you think about it, even like the plumbing and transportation and waste disposal, like all of those things are also means by which the state can levy power against people. If you look at situations like, I don't know that it's being done to levy power specifically, but the Flint, Michigan water situation, they still don't have clean water. And you have to think, like, there's a lot of black people who live in Flint, Michigan. Like, the infrastructure wasn't prioritized for probably racial and class reasons. You know, and the state refusing to fix those things is a kind of violence being, like, passively perpetrated against the members of that community on a daily basis at this point, for years at this point. Like, half a decade, more than half a decade now. Something crazy. I'd love some UBI right now as I hunt for a new job. At the moment, I'm jobless and anxious. Yeah, it makes you so anxious. If we had UBI, like, I would be boy howdy, like I make like just enough money each month, thank you all for your generosity, in order to like stay solid. I'm going to be able to afford to live in my own place, which is a huge deal to me. If I had a universal basic income, at least I would be like, I can breathe a little bit. Like I wouldn't feel like, oh my God, I'm not getting enough editing done. I'm not getting enough of this done. I need to do more of this, blah, blah, blah. Like there is a pressure, you know, like, do I need to get a job through the winter, like a seasonal job? Like, I don't, back to the questions of like, what kind of job am I willing to do for someone else when I have now had the sweet taste of self-employment for the last 6 months? I'm a professionally unemployed deadbeat, and I find myself wanting to do at least some sort of labor. Right. Like, even if it's not something that's like really super helpful to society, like taking the trash, like even if the labor that you want to do is like writing a book, you know, that's still something that's gonna benefit someone. Someone is gonna be like, wow, I loved this book. Like it really gave me something to think about. I really like enjoyed that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to adjust the level of my chair while I'm in the middle of talking. It's not working out very well. That's better. I really want to do something new. I really want to do something with my time, either learn or do small bits of working. But because of my income situation, I feel I have like no flexibility, and that lack of flexibility keeps me from even trying anything new. How many people are just like, I'm never going to be able to try this new hobby that I want to do, even though it only costs $20 to start off with, because I don't have $20 to get a book and like the pencils to draw. And I don't have the energy and the time after my 60-hour work week to do anything for my personal enjoyment. So anyway, yeah, I just wanted to talk about this a little bit because I've been really thinking about this concept of like who does what in the anarchist society. Like, am I like a freak? Like sometimes I feel like I'm a freak a little bit for being like, I just think that work needs to be done. Like I clean the toilets in my apartment for both me and the other person who lives here. Like I do the most of the dishes for both of us. Like you just do shit because it needs to be done, and you don't like piss and bitch and moan about it. If you feel like things are inequitable, have a discussion, sure. But you know, as far as, oh my God, like who's gonna do this? Like the only reason that you have this like, oh my God, who's gonna do this attitude is because we live in a society currently where that kind of unpleasant labor is made invisible. It's erased by the fact that you can just make poor people do it. Cool. Damn, this stream is getting too real. I know, Juniper. I know. I do this sometimes. It's also about changing the perception of work and how we've framed certain jobs. We think of the amount of money we earn. However, could there be another benefit that isn't offered by money? That's the ultimate question, really. Slaps Hungry Bear says, I don't know if I call myself an anarchist because I do see some problems, but I do agree with anarchists more than tankies or even sock dems. I think that like I think you can be an anarchist in the sense of like, I believe that a less structured stateless society would be better, without that necessarily meaning like I commit to the idea that we should destroy the state immediately. To me, it's a philosophical position where I recognize that like a state doesn't necessarily exist for the good of people. It exists for its own perpetuation. Like if the state were open to radical bottom-up change in order to be more in line with the needs of the people, then that would be great. But the state resists changes that make it better for the people, because ultimately, like the bureaucracy involved with the creation and continuation of the state is partially designed for its own ongoing life, its own perpetuation. And in that way, the state is kind of opposed to the needs of people. And that's where we run into issues, where we need to start figuring out like maybe some alternatives to this concept of a state, you know? Yeah, you really are an anarchist. What's crazy is how little time it took for me to be able to articulate this position. I'm cool with anarchists. I just don't know how to be anything but a person trying to function within the immediate world around me, right now at least. I don't know how to be that. Like, you know, it's like being a gender abolitionist. You're like, this is not realistically going to happen within our lifetimes. It just is like a nice idea. It would be cool if someday what can we do now to kind of guide us generally toward that, even though I will be long dead before we get there, right? Like, we're not going to live in an anarchist society. Not going to happen. But we can discuss it and be like, this is philosophically where our principles are, right? Because ultimately for me, the anarchism is about the principles. Anarchism is when you're really high, and the biggest one here, bet. True. Hey Tibbs, how's it going? A gender ascensionist. But yeah, that's me being like, oh shit. So for a long time I was like, I don't know if I really qualify as a leftist because I feel so like hesitant to delve into these issues, and like I don't really know what my opinion is on a lot of things. And I'm like, oh no, I'm an anarchist now. Hey Adrian, before humans could make it work, I think we'd have to pretty much grow out of our current religious paradigms. I certainly think that dominant religions currently tend to be a bit culty. I don't know that the idea of religion itself needs to be gotten rid of, but like certainly a lot of our religious institutions do enforce. It's weird because they purport to, Christianity in particular purports to stand for communalism, but then in reality reinforces a lot of individualism. There's this concept of building the new world in the shell of the old. I mean, you will always have to. You will always have to construct your new world out of the remnants of what existed before. Even if all of the actual infrastructure gets destroyed, you're still going to have a bunch of people with a lot of mindsets that are going to need to be evolved through, right? I don't see why communities can't be an anarchic alternative to the state model. I think people tend to assume that we're just going to end up replicating a lot of the same structures on a smaller scale. Which it's possible, but you can also like be mindful and avoid that shit. You should really watch Beau of the Fifth Column if you haven't yet. I have not watched Beau of the Fifth Column. Maybe I should go ahead and open a tab now. Beau of the Fifth Column. I think I follow him on Twitter. I think I follow him on Twitter. And if not, then I will be subscribed to the YouTube page in about 2 seconds. Okay, now I'm subscribed. See? I subscribed. Subscribe. I think Christianity and Islam theoretically could be conducive to anarchist attitudes and actions, or at least coexist within them, but like, theoretically, I don't think that's practically the case for most American Christians, for example. Yeah, I do think that... What's up, Game Gang, if I haven't said hi to you already? I do think that, that American society has made a lot of things worse. So like, I don't even know that Christianity itself is a bad thing, but like, holy shit. Well, no, Catholicism with the Crusades. Are Christianity and Catholicism the same thing evolutionarily in that sense? Kind of. All the Catholics fucking just Anyway. Yeah, we like Beau. We like Beau of the Fifth Column. I thought that there was some weird discourse with Beau of the Fifth Column recently, but a lot of these leftist people I'm not super familiar with all kind of bleed together into one. Mission accomplished, for sure. Anyway, I enjoy talking about my newly developed philosophical and political principles. I believe America's culture is inherently harmful, and I like to call it a colonial culture. Manifest destiny lives on through every single middle-class family's aspirational nature. I think degrowth is an interesting concept that I don't know enough about to really go in on in depth, but it's also one of those things that I see people like reflexively make fun of a lot, so I think it could be really interesting to learn more about. Make up one whole DJ mule. Bo the Fifth Column apparently a while ago was involved in some sketchy stuff before becoming a YouTuber involving labor and migrants. Oh boy, okay. Or is that who you're talking about? Religion can be used as a political tool, and if being used that way, it's toxic. That's totally fair. That's totally fair. Hold on. I'd highly recommend the YouTube channel Anarch if you are interested in anarchism. I feel like I don't really need to learn any more about anarchism. Like, it's one of those things where I'm like, I get the basic concept, and from this point, it's about those conversations of how do we do things. And I'd rather have those more in real time, I think, than I would reading them. But I guess if we've got audiobooks and like good audio YouTube channels, I might read up a little bit more about it. But we're talking about like, what am I going to do in my free time? Like I said earlier, in my free time, my interests are Good Mythical Morning and film critique. Degrowth is like doing a no growth, but worse, like Kanye. All right, Nuvenal. Take a quick drink here. That was my least important segment of the entire stream. Oh, hey. There's 48 people here watching. First of all, if you've not hit the like button on the stream, please consider doing that. It takes like 2 seconds, and it makes an immediate difference for the channel. Thank you so much for that. Second of all, are you trans? Do you live in the United States, or are you a United States citizen, or are you living on a U.S. territory? Because if you're two of those things, you should take the U.S. Trans Survey. If you see this little link up top here, ustranssurvey.org, it will be open until like most of the way through November, so you have about 3 weeks left, okay? Take the pledge. It's going to take you 30 to 90 minutes, depending on what your answers and everything are. The last time we did this census, it was in 2015. I would bet money that many of you in my audience were not yet out as trans. Even those of you who are trans, I bet a lot of you were not out as trans yet in 2015. So this is your first opportunity to take the survey, to be heard. If you think of any intra-community statistics that you know of, like the rate of attempted suicide within the community, that information comes from this survey. How many members of the community have been sexually assaulted over the course of their lifetime? You can look at that demographic breakdown. Interestingly, people who are non-binary and were assigned female at birth have the highest reported rate of lifetime sexual assault at 58% of respondents. Any information like that you want to be having, like, your, you always hear like, oh, 12% of people in this poll think such and such, and you're like, nobody fucking asked me. Take the U.S. Trans Survey. Get your voice counted. Thank you. Set yourself a little reminder so that you can do it after this, okay? Yes, if you're in the U.S. 2015 is pre-trauma. Yeah. I wonder if there are cis people or if there are people who are cis who take that survey just to fuck with results. I mean, maybe. You take the risks, What do you think about the anti-oil anarchists that sit in the road and block traffic? That is one of the only things I did not add to my list of news subjects today, is the Just Stop Oil protests that have been going on. Because initially it starts with, oh my God, they're throwing paint on these paintings. Like, they're throwing mashed potatoes on the famous painting, but the famous painting is behind glass, so it's not going to permanently ruin the painting. Why are they doing this? Why are we having this conversation? you know, blah, 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 blah. Everybody gets so fucking annoyed about it. And it's like, yeah, man, the fact that you're annoyed about it might be part of the reason why people are talking about it. Did you all know that someone set themselves on fire? Hold on. Hold on. Did you know that earlier this year in April, a man died after setting himself on fire in front of the Supreme Court building? So when we're having, and it was specifically for the purpose of bringing attention to climate change. So while people are bitching and moaning and complaining about like, why would these climate change activists throw mashed potatoes on whatever, the Mona Lisa or whatever the fuck it was. I know that there wasn't the Mona Lisa. I just don't know what painting it was. Like, why are they doing that? Like, well, how many people were talking about this man setting himself on fire versus how many people are talking about the stupid fucking painting? Okay. Number one. But furthermore, they're doing more than just that. You know, now we've also got, oh God, let's see. I wasn't prepared for this segment. We are now seeing increased activity from this group, Just Stop Oil. We're now also seeing like them spray painting these buildings. Like this person is spraying orange paint on buildings in central London, the Home Office, the M15 building or MI5 building, I can't tell what that says, Bank of England, and the News building, the headquarters of the News UK. There was another one that happened at like a really nice car sales place, like Cadillacs or something like that. And additionally, we also have people sitting in the road now. Let's see. I do have that on my Twitter. Hold on. I wasn't prepared to do this segment. I'm pulling it together right here, right quick. And now you have these people blocking the roads. Like I think this video taken here is like this. I think this is this woman's car that she's trying to get these people to stop standing in front of. Like, I think that's her car. And she's like, I need to go. So Just Stop Oil supporters are also blocking Commercial Street, demanding that the government halts all new oil and gas licenses. So while people are bitching and moaning about the fucking, like, oh my God, you're throwing paint on a famous painting. Like, A, why would you destroy art? B, that's not effective. Like, well, oil companies own that painting. And also, it's like a multifaceted thing. Attention is being drawn in multiple ways. So, in fact, this is a more organized effort than I knew of. I won't say whether I think that it's, like, super effective to have your activists getting voluntarily arrested for doing mischief in the world. But, like, clearly they are bringing attention to it. And if they can manage to take some names as far as like getting the fucking UK government to do this, to acquiesce to their demands, like halting new oil and gas licenses, like that's a good thing. It's good having more conversation about climate change. When the hell do I talk about climate change on my channel? Sometimes we'll talk about it occasionally, maybe like maximum once a month. I've been streaming for like 7 months. Maximum once a month we talk about climate change. I wouldn't be talking about climate change if it weren't for this. Because frankly, what the fuck are we going to do about climate change? I live in the Midwest. Like, what am I going to do here? I've heard takes that Just Stop Oil exists to discredit other anti-oil movements by being intentionally polarizing. Oh, maybe. But like, I think that anyone would describe this kind of behavior here as being intentionally polarizing and destructive to the movement. Like, even though blocking highways and stuff is an extremely effective means of getting normal everyday people to pay attention to your cause, you know, it just, you know, you more and more people discredit the things that are working. This is the thing that you must realize. Frankly, the more the establishment bitches about something, when politicians say, we don't want you protesting outside of the Supreme Court justices' houses, that's because that shit fucking works. When they say, we don't want you blocking the highways, we're going to make that illegal, or we can't make it illegal to protest in this specific way, but we are going to make it less illegal for someone to hit you with their car during a protest. They're going to effectively clamp down on that behavior because that shit works. Anything they are trying to stop you from doing, it's because that shit works when it comes to political organization. Polarization is not necessarily the worst thing. That's true. If we just all do stuff, they can't arrest us all. The Area 51 approach. I mean, what do you do? If like 800 really pissed off millennials like myself go slashing the tires of every SUV they see every night that they go out drinking, how many people are going to continue replacing the $800 worth of tires on their SUV? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how many people need to be doing this? Frankly, it doesn't take very many people. But if you start politically agitating for people to do fucked up shit like that, then that also opens up the discussion for like, but also the fascists. Like, well, the fascists are going to do it whether they have permission from us or not. Okay, calm down. Thank you, Jenna. I appreciate it. I am enjoying the outfit tonight. It's making me feel all kinds of certain ways about gesticulating with my claws. You know how it goes. Tonight's a crazy good night. We're having a great stream. Juniper, are you referring to blocking highways, saying it's also a good way to get everyday people not to like you? Because, like, part of the idea is that, like, you won't be able to do your normal productivity shit if the world collapses, you know? Actually, the person whose tweet originally brought this video to my attention was Jackson, saying it's really interesting how the relentless pressures and busyness of capitalism turn ordinary people into agents of state violence, physically attacking / dragging protesters for the disruption to their productivity. Capitalism keeps us too busy to reflect on the planet dying. Like, this woman is dragging, she's basically assaulting this man at the beginning of this video. Stop, I don't want to noise, thank you. She's basically assaulting this man by dragging him around, you know, and she is doing this in service to the state effectively. You know, like, there is nuance to this. Like, maybe her kids need to be picked up from soccer practice, whatever, obviously, okay? The point is that regular society cannot continue. Like, and like, when it comes to protests for racial violence, you know, you think like, what are you accomplishing for racial violence if you block the highways? You know, it's not like me on the way to work was, you know, a part of police violence against the black community. Like, I'm against police violence. I'm just trying to go to work. Why are you blocking me from going to work? Like, well, they're trying to say, like, our lives as black people cannot continue this way. Like, our lives as black people come grinding to a halt. Our communities come grinding to a halt when we continue losing more and more people. Like, every time we have a death, our community comes grinding to a halt. Normal life cannot continue. You are not allowed to continue in your comfortable normal life while this horrendous thing is happening to us. Like, you are not allowed to not notice. So yeah, sometimes good people, like regular people, are gonna just be fucking annoyed. They're gonna be like, why the fuck are you blocking the road? Like, I need to get to work. My boss is gonna fire me if I'm late one more time, you know, like, and those anxieties are real and everything. It's just also, like, that's the fucking point. The whole point is that your life doesn't get to just be undisrupted by this. Just because you're white doesn't mean that your life gets to be undisrupted by racial violence. You know, your life should be disrupted by racial violence in the sense that it should be a problem for you, but it doesn't have to be, so people ignore it broadly. It's about 50-50 for me whether I'd be doing the same thing as that woman in that situation, depending on how bad I needed to get somewhere. I feel like even if your ultimate goal was to request these people get out of the way of your car, the correct thing to do is to sit down with them in front of your car and speak to them and be like, hey, I really care a lot about climate justice. I am so supportive of what you're doing. I'm just really I really need to pick up my children. Like, my children are about to be alone after soccer practice and I need to go pick them up. You know, like, the thing that you do is sit down and have a human conversation. The problem is if you let one in, they all come in. That's the other difficulty as well. I will agree. Anansi helping out in the YouTube chat, pointing out, yeah, if you enjoy the stream, please consider liking it and subscribing. Oh my god, it helps the channel. Oh my god, soon we're gonna need to talk about like a gender topic. Oh my god. Eventually. Ring that bell. Oh my god. If you have notifications on for my channel, but you turned off YouTube app notifications, you will never, ever, ever get a ping from my channel. Make sure you check those settings, y'all. Hail Hydrate. I actually did just watch Captain America Civil War, so I almost said Hail Hydra. Hydrate. I am generally understanding of a protest personally. Yeah. Would you say it is on the agenda? True. The great thing about having a motorcycle is you can just ride around them. I guess that's true, John Keller. If you are against climate protests and you think that they're annoying when they go in the road to block the road, then just get a motorcycle or a moped. If you live in Europe, for sure, just get a moped. I just rewatched Civil War. Or shoot, no, I didn't mean Civil War. I misspoke. I meant Captain America, the first one. And then also the Avengers. I watched those for the first time in a while. For the first time in forever. Anyway, my voice is shot today. I should not sing. Rip. Rip, 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 rip. Okay, let's look at what else is on the docket for today. I have so much shit still. I want to do just a small update segment just to sort of supplement something that we were talking about last week. And yeah, I don't want to go in a lot of depth about this. I just want to kind of touch on it before we drop the subject. Someone just reinvent agenda reassignment surgery. True. After Roe v. Wade overturn, I was held up by some pro-choice protesters, and I joined them in support because I agreed with them. After work, and I was in civilian clothes. Yeah, I'm not saying you have to sit there and join the protest. I'm just saying, like, if what you want is for them to move, then the better thing to do than trying to drag them away is to sit down and have the conversation and say, like, I get what you're doing here. Is there any way you could let me through? Maybe they'll say no. But it's better than trying to, like, assault somebody and drag them away. Okay, hold on. Beers are yummy. How the fuck do you do falsetto after HRT? Amphi, you just have to, like, do it a lot. Because here's the thing. My partner, still, is a cis man who, of course, he went through puberty when you normally do. And for him, maybe it's because he was in choir at the time. But truly, like, if you just continue singing through the process, like, his highest high and lowest low are only a couple notches below my highest high and lowest low. Like, we both have a similar range, but, like, his is just, like it's, like, the same range, but his is just, like, a little bit lower than mine. And, yeah, so if you just gotta do it. You just gotta sing. You just gotta practice. Any hoozle. So I wanted to just do a little quick update on this turf rally thing that was happening in Tacoma, Washington. We talked about it last week, where there was this turf group that showed up and these people counter-protesting. And that one woman who kept screaming, she was like, "Don't touch me! Don't touch me!" But nobody was anywhere near her, and she's sitting there wielding fucking pepper spray. So she pepper sprayed someone. Someone got pied earlier in the day, just like with a whipped cream, like pie in the face, pied. And then later in the day, this woman, Gianna, I think her name was, she pepper sprayed some of the counter protesters. And we were like, what the fuck is happening? We didn't know who it was who got pepper sprayed, like, per se. So we're now getting some more information about that. Like, first of all, like, it turns out that this protest was happening near a high school, like right next to a high school. So of course the Gen Z kids come out and they go like, oh, we don't want you here, like, get out of here. And those were the main protesters, as it turned out. Like, these people are mostly high schoolers. That turn on the sound, turn off the sound. The people counter protesting, like, if you see how young, so this is that lady, she's, stop touching, don't touch me. These people, look at that. These are high schoolers. These are teens. And she pepper sprayed some of them. And we were like, what the fuck? So just to be clear, this is the person who got pepper sprayed. I don't love showing their picture because they're a minor. Is there something I can do to obscure this really quick? Yeah, I'm just gonna put this here because I don't actually want to show their face on my stream. Did that work? Yes. Okay, so yeah, you just have to look at my files for a second here. So that we can look at this post by this person. Today I was sprayed with bear mace directly in my face during a protest against trans women. I was on the opposite side, and while we were peaceful, the other side had already maced children and kids from my school and used racial terms and slurs, which were thrown at me, as was a phone. Like, a phone was thrown at this child. I will be pressing charges because I am allergic to mace, and this was mace meant for bears, not humans. Anyway, it's been hours, and my skin still feels like it is going to fall off and burns like hell. I just want you all to know this garbage woman is blaming everything on me, a 14-year-old, standing up for what I believe and calling me a liar. But yes, I will be pressing charges, and here's the proof of what happened. I don't want to show their picture on my stream because they're a 14-year-old minor, but their skin is obviously puffy and inflamed. It doesn't look like it feels good. It looks like a severe allergic reaction, really. It looks like if they came in contact with poison ivy on their face. And they are a light-skinned black person, as far as I can tell by how they look. So I just want to point that part out as well, because there is an aspect of that that includes like a racial aspect. We see, who was it? Someone down here said, yeah, so this person said, it's literally just racism, LMAO. The hypermasculinization of black people, more specifically black women and girls, is like a textbook form of racism. Like, the 14-year-old does look like they might be a girl. So it's, yeah, just like the racism of up here, because this is where the gender criticals are at in response to this. Here's where they're at right now. Some person is saying feminists don't mace kids regardless of the provocation. And then this gender critical is saying, then I'm just not a feminist. Where I'm from, pepper spray is the legal, humane alternative to shooting a violent offender in the head, which is also legal. Feminists are not doormats or punching bags for violent males, period. Like, keep in mind, we have clearly just established that one of the people who got maced was a 14-year-old female black person, by all appearances. And this person is saying, like, we will mace teenagers if they seem like they might be violent males. True, though. True. So that was just a wee little update. We now know for sure that it was high schoolers who got pepper sprayed. The pepper spray was made like again, like, just take another look at the, hold on. Yeah, the volume is not on. If we take a look at what she has in her hand, do you see this big fucking orange canister in her hand? That's the mace. Like, that's the pepper spray. Does that look like, hold on. Where are my keys? Hold on. So here I have some pepper spray. This is like, goes on your keys. This is a standard kind of like, I just want a little bit of self-protection. Okay? This little thing. Now compare this to what she has in her hand. Look at that thing. Bright orange, giant canister. You show up to an event like that with something like that, you intend to use it. If you show up to an event with something like this, you might think like, oh, you know, that you're just going to keep that in your pocket. It's intended to be in your pocket. Like quite literally, it's intended to go in your pocket with your keys or in your purse with your keys. This shit is not meant to be put in your pocket. That's meant for you to use it. It's not like we're stupid. We can tell what you're doing. If you show up to a protest saying how bad trans women are, stop locking women in with rapists, and you come with fucking bear mace, we know what you're doing. It's not cute. You're fucking around. At some point, you will find out. Wasn't the lady from Utah, she might have had use for actual bears? Leave it the fuck home. You know what else? You know what? If she lives in a place where there's fucking bears, she probably has a use for like a fucking really big high caliber gun too. But you don't bring a fucking rifle to a protest like this because you're not putting down bears. Anyway. Just screaming. Don't worry about me. I guess the children only matter if they're white cis hets. I mean, yeah, that's another one of the aspects of this shit too, is that they have a tendency to be like, oh my God, the children. But then they just fucking mace high schoolers, like a literal minor, like a 14-year-old. A 14-year-old is so far from being an adult. And you're like, yeah, because you were tall or black or whatever, I'm gonna like mace you. Keep in mind also that being maced causes reproductive issues. There were a whole bunch of people during the protests in 2020 who like had miscarriages and spontaneous periods when they weren't expecting one and shit like that, you know. Yeah, she used the bear spray. Yes, pneumatic pterodactyl. Did you get me the pepper spray? Because I have it. I have one on my keys and one that I have there that's not on my keys because I don't have two sets of keys. Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh my goodness. Make sure everything is looking good. Everything is working good. Just going out in public with a yaoi paddle, like, what? What's wrong? I'm not doing anything. How do you protect yourself from mace? The only thing you can really do to protect yourself is to have a very nice, tight-fitting set of goggles. And I guess, you know, get some saline to wash your eyes out with, potentially. But yeah, as I think the only way to really effectively protect yourself against mace. Oh, and also a breathing apparatus. Goggles and a breathing apparatus. You can get a full face cover, face shield with like a plastic lens and a breathing apparatus. What if you have glasses on? Will that protect? The thing about aerosolizing capsaicin is that it's aerosolized. So, like, the shit itself might, like, spray across your glasses, but if it's hit your face and it's near the face and the eyes and it's been aerosolized and it's like a fine mist, there's like a fine mist everywhere around your glasses that is you're gonna like turn your head and it's gonna immediately go behind your glasses. You need like sealing kind of goggles or like a sealing face mask, you know? Does it go through clothes or masks? I don't know about masks. Probably. Like if you're just wearing a cloth mask, then for sure. But yes, mace can go through clothes. If it gets on your skin, it can cause like burns, like rashes and burns. Fairly mild burns, but still it's unpleasant. It doesn't feel good. It hurts like a bitch. So that's another reason why when you're attending protests, it's recommended that you wear long sleeves and all, because yeah, dude, mace can burn your skin. So you want to wear like thick clothes. If it penetrates into your clothing, then it can obviously like stay close to your skin and like continuously burn you. So be aware, do your best with what you have. This is part of why I don't go to protests, because I don't feel like I have the PPE required. PPE stands for personal protective equipment. I'm gonna show up at the function with a fishbowl on my head and layers of raincoats. As long as you can breathe, my dude. Or my dudette. Whichever way you prefer. Showing up to protests in a full latex gimp suit. True! Horny stream. You can buy chemical fatigues from military surplus stores, however, they will sweat you quite a bit. Do you mean like they will cost you a lot of money, or they will physically make you sweat a lot? Because that's the thing about wearing a lot of PPE, is that it will make you sweat. I've considered getting tactical gear. That's money though. It is. I was looking at like what would a decent like chest armor, just one piece to prevent you from shattering all your ribs when the fucking AR shoots through you, you know, like $700, bro, for like a decent chest protection vest thing. Not much that can protect from bear spray. They physically make you sweat terribly. Yeah. Wearing masks, wearing PPE, wearing leather. Like, leather will protect you more than wearing other things, but leather is gonna make you sweat like a bitch. Yeah, you gotta buy the plates. Like, oh my god. Why is protecting myself so expensive? Like, would it be literally cheaper for me to get a gun than it would be for me to get, like, a decent armor vest? Like, probably. I haven't looked into the cost of getting a gun yet. Because I'm not ready for that yet. I'm not ready. Oh my gosh. Drinking more beer. Okay, what else are we doing today? We've successfully knocked out a couple of things I meant to talk about. Small update to previous Turf's Pied segment. How much does an EOD bomb suit run you? It's absolutely cheaper to get a gun. I'm not surprised by that. I guess the ammunition is where they really get you. Like, that's where the cost really is with the gun situation. There's like a decent number of people in here, and I think a lot of people keep like coming in and then leaving because I'm not talking about any of the... Listen, I just haven't gotten to many of the gender subjects yet today. We have so much gender today. The problem with the bulletproof vest is twofold. They can shoot through it with certain types of bullets, and two, they can always shoot you in the head. My head is a smaller target. Violence is the largest thing keeping me from going to protests. Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much my whole thing. Like, I don't want to die today, thank you. Or get arrested and have to deal with being jailed in a weird way, or like dealing with cops. Like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I just want to remind you all about the U.S. Trans Survey. Once again, I've been afraid to leave the house lately, let alone go to a protest. Adrian, I really highly recommend working on a little bit of exposure with that. If you just step outside the door and stand outside the door for 2 minutes, just gradually work your way up to like taking a short walk maybe. You don't want to have agoraphobia. It's really hard to work through once it really, really sets in. About to go out looking like a 16th century knight. You can probably get shitty body armor pretty cheap. Prison is the main reason I'd rather stay away from protests. But in prison, what is it you fear? What is it you want to avoid about prison? Is it just being imprisoned, or is it the constant threat of violence in prison? It's violence all the way down. That's like the deterrent factor, you know? How much protection does steel plate armor offer against bullets anyway? I would say probably not much, because it's like Kevlar is like carbon fiber that's different from steel. It's stronger than steel. Having boobs in a men's jail, right? My ID says male, but I have tits, and I usually don't bind anymore. So like, what are the cops gonna do with me when they arrest me? Probably sexually assault me, TBH. You have to go to work, Adrian. Zug zug. I could help you get vests, military surplus, guns, ammo, etc. Have friends that are into that. I'll consider it, Mersh, for sure. Like, vests at least. I don't live in a place where mass shootings are very common, so I usually feel like I can go to the grocery store and I'm not concerned that I'm gonna die. Zug zug doesn't mean farewell. Zug zug means I'm going to work and it sucks. That's what zug zug means. Zug zug. I want cloaks to be vogue. I have a cloak. I could go put the cloak on. It would just be fucking hot right now. If you want a custom AK-47, I know just the guy. That sounds terrible. I don't want an AK-47. I might get a handgun at some point. I think that it would be smart to have a handgun. Swoobu. Hello, stick boy. Unironically, I want plate armor to be an actual fashion item. I'm sitting here like, I'm sure that there's gonna be at least once this winter where I go to the store. Ugh. I'm gonna go to the store at least once this winter, like, oh baby. I thought Zug Zug was what the grunts from Halo say. Well, if that's what the grunts from Halo say, then they copied it from Warcraft. Because I was playing Warcraft 3, and when you send the orcs off to go do something, they go Zug Zug. They're like, I can't believe you're making me go work. How dare you? So Zug Zug is what I say when I'm like, oh, I gotta go to work. Sometimes I say Zug Zug and I mean it and I'm happy though. Sometimes I'm like, Zug Zug. Because I enjoy my job, for sure. Oh my god. Okay, get off of me. Ah, my horns. There we go. It goes all the way back to Warcraft 1. Yeah, I'm sure it does. I didn't play Warcraft 1. I only played Warcraft 3. The Warcrafts. Zug Zug. Yeah, Mersh, you'll have to talk to me later. I don't actually know if I want a handgun yet. I haven't decided if I'm, like, free from suicidal ideation enough to actually own a handgun, and also someday I want to live in a place where there probably is going to be more restrictive gun laws. I don't know, I could probably just sell it at that point. Who cares? Anyway. Okay, so we have got a couple of different things that we could move into talking about. Thank you, Adrian. Freaking love the ensemble. The first shrug really completes the look. Yes, this is my badger. His name is Mushroom. I want to own steel tassets to just wear out in public as part of a cool outfit. What do steel tassets? What is that? Oh. You just want to casually wear, like, hip and thigh armor. That's what this is. I didn't know. I mean, of course, that item has a name, but I had never thought about it before. That's a tasset. It protects your thighs. And sometimes your groin a little bit. Neat. Yes, I like my badger. It's very soft. His name is Mushroom. Okay, let's get some stuff. Cod pieces are protect your groin. Yeah, the cod piece, I mean, I was just saying, like, because one of the pieces had a small bit. Like, it wasn't really so much covering the groin as it was covering, like, where my uterus is. I wonder if you can put a pouch on a tasset. I mean, maybe. How can you contribute without going out to protest? Being too afraid to take action is the goal for fascists. I don't think that trans people and other marginalized people are the ones who should take on that burden of overcoming our fear in order to fight the fascists. Unfortunately, we are the ones who end up doing it. But I really do wish that / think that more people with less to lose should be trying harder. But like, I'm telling you, Jimsy, that, and you're like closeted trans person. So I'm like, I'm not trying to say you should do more because you pass as cishet or whatever. Like, that would be fucked up. Bring cod pieces back, TBH, especially for trans guys. I've considered it. One of my friends at the Renaissance Festival makes men's wear, like men's clothing. And one of the things that he has a lot of is like tights with a big fucking cod piece. And I was like, what if I got one of those though? That would be fun. Just put some socks in there or something. But I usually don't dress in boy mode at my Renaissance Festival because it's too fucking hot. In September and October, it is 90 degrees and that's too hot. Yes, I do think it would be cool to wear a codpiece though. I need to fucking fill out the information for the bunk clinic so bad. I have the paperwork like open on my computer and I just need to like actually fill it out and send it back in so that I can get my consultation on the books for bottom surgery. Okay. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things that we could talk about real quick. Actually, I don't really care about this one. I don't know. I mean, we can mention it briefly, but we're not going to go into a lot of detail about this because no fucking shit. People are terrible. South Carolina governor says he wants a statewide ban on same-sex marriage. McMaster was questioned about his stance on same-sex marriage in South Carolina if the nation's highest court were to reverse the precedent. He said that South Carolina is one of several states that had not legalized same-sex marriage when the Supreme Court ruled on Obergefell versus Hodges, which is the case that made same-sex marriage the law of the land. The Republican governor said he would follow South Carolina's state law if the Supreme Court were to overturn their 2015 ruling, espousing his personal views on the definition of marriage before taking a swipe at other LGBTQ issues. He says, well, maybe I'm old-fashioned, but I think marriage ought to be between a man and a woman, just like I think that boys ought to play in boys' sports and girls ought to play in girls' sports. But I mean, you've got to have some common sense in this arena, which seems to be changing all the time, but I think our traditions are strong and for a reason. Like, just, oh, my vapors. Yeah, true. Like, this old fuck is just like, boys should play boys' sports and girls should play girls' sports. And marriage is between a man and a woman. And you can't take 2 plug-ins and plug them into each other. You know, like, it's just not very intelligent level discourse. There's a whole bunch of anti-gay people who are coming out of the woodworks being like, by the way, actually, I think that being gay is just as bad as being trans. Like, you know, the gays, they got their liminal acceptance for a very brief period of time, and it did not take very long before they're like, by the way, we're just gonna roll back out all this shit and be like, I don't fucking care if you want to be married, like, go fuck yourself. We don't want you to be married anymore. Yikes. It goes back and forth. You know, it's just going to continue wobbling back and forth. And it feels like, you know, like it's like a wee, like we're trending upwards still, even though we're wobbling back and forth. But at some point, it feels like we're going to go on this graph. What's so funny is how many of these GOP who used to oppose gay marriage were caught with gay prostitutes. Yeah, I mean, there's that, like, where they're like, I gotta be very vocally anti-gay so that nobody suspects that I'm a homosexual. But then I also find that's kind of problematic because I don't really think it's fair to insinuate that it's primarily self-hating gay people who are perpetuating the harm against gay people. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, if you characterize all of these homophobic politicians as being secretly gay and just self-hating and repressing, then what you effectively have done is you've painted the entire anti-gay movement as just being a bunch of self-hating faggots who like want to restrict other gay people's rights. You know, like, you've managed to pin the blame for gay people's oppression on gay people. That's what you've managed to do. Not that it's not a problem. I'm not saying that it's not a problem that there are anti-trans and anti-gay legislators who are closeted or whatever. Obviously there are, but I just don't want us to characterize people that way without good evidence, like without good reason. I'm a self-hating faggot and I don't want to do that. Yeah. It's like, don't throw me under the bus. Like, I am a self-hating. No, I'm not. But if I were a self-hating tranner, troon. Oh my God, excuse me. But yeah, I just wanted to like highlight that one real quick. It's not a big deal. It's not very important in the grand scheme of all the news that's going on right now, because it's like, oh, if Obergefell v. Hodges gets revoked, and like, well, I mean, it might, but someone's got to take that to court, first, and I'm eagerly awaiting that day. Wow, boy howdy, I'm so excited. Tonight's stream brought to you by the reason Lux isn't on Twitch. I don't actually know that I'm getting away with this very well on YouTube, though, because I recently, actually just like today or yesterday, I glanced through my past like month's worth of videos and streams, and like a lot of them have been flagged yellow. So they're like limited monetization, and I'm like, why? Like, why? I found out that Peter Thiel, who's putting money into an anti-LGBTQ politicians and tried to ban abortions, is gay himself. It does unfortunately happen a lot. Is Peter Thiel gay? I feel like I need to fix my fucking hair. Hold on. Okay. That's a little bit better. Okay, so Troon is the stupidest slur on the planet. It's like if a kids show needed a makeup slur for a fantasy race. What sucks is that it's so close to a word that I do actually... Is it supposed to be? Like, I played World of Warcraft for a really long time. The temptation is real right now, but fuck Blizzard. That's like the one way that I'm staying strong right now, is because fuck Blizzard. But you would call your characters a toon. Like, oh, let me hop on my other toon. It's level 19 and it's closer to your level so we could hang out together or whatever. Like, like... Is Troon supposed to be close to that? Like, it does seem quite strange. Wearing fake eyelashes is weird. I can see them. They're there. They're in my vision all the time. That originated from Toontown? Maybe. I don't actually know, because I didn't play Toontown. That was happening with Demon Mama as well, and it didn't switch till she made a stink segment about it. Yeah, normally when other people are complaining about that type of thing, I go look and I'm like, well, all my shit's monetized, so it must be a pretty recent thing. Anyway. Yeah, I don't need to make a big vid about it yet, I don't think. It's like unlisted streams anyway, for the most part. It's like, oh, okay, well... That's just going to go up on my second channel, which I don't have monetized anyway. If you want me to help monetize my VOD channel, subscribe to the VOD channel, where you can see full recordings at some point. I'm like a month behind, but I'm going to catch up this week on posting all of the vlogs. Okay. My real eyelashes are in my vision all the time. You must have the most luscious eyelashes, Chaotic Organized. Although maybe mine are... I was thinking that earlier, like, are my eyelashes in my vision all the time and I just don't notice? It's like how your nose is in your vision all the time and you just don't notice? Okay, anyway. I'm ready to move into my next topic, okay? If you have not yet hit like on the stream, please hit like on the stream really fast. It's free. It's fast. It's easy. It helps the channel. We appreciate you. Mwah. Okay. I'm ready to move into my next subject. Now, what are we going to talk about next? We've got some options. Oh my god. Oh my god. God, unrelated, but could you imagine wearing this shit out in public? Oh yeah. That's hot. I mean, it's just this is like a gorget with more coverage. I mean, it's basically a gorget. That's cool though. Nope, wrong button. That's the button. Babe. We're having a good time. Okay. It's pronounced beaver. So it's like a gorget, but it covers higher up. Is that what it is? I do notice my nose as well. And what was really surprising, my septum piercing. Oh, I bet you can just see the edges of your septum piercing. Right here. Yeah, for sure. That's one that I really wish that I wanted because of its queer culture. Like, it's queer culture to have a septum piercing, but I don't want one. The reason I never come out to cis people, and especially in person, is because they all seem to have 1.5 million opinions on the issue of being trans. My sister would constantly say she supports me, while at the same time encouraging me to doubt myself at every turn. Cis people don't deserve to know if you're trans if you're not actively planning to bump uglies. Gorget only covers the neck, whereas the beaver covers the jaw. Okay, that makes sense, because I think a gorget really does stop, like, down here. So, cool. Armor's fun. I feel like I need to give my voice, like, just a second to, like... We've been going for 2 hours, and I've been just, like... the whole time. What should be my next piercing? While I'm taking just a break for my voice... What should be my next piercing? Like, what do you think would look good on me? Right? Show me your beaver. True. I guess I should get my notes ready for the next part at least. Septum would be Pog. Septum is very dragon-coded. Eyebrow. Eyebrow piercings tend to reject. Which eyebrow? Which one? Which one? Some people really... I like the idea of doing the 2 nose piercings and the chain across, but my nose is really uneven, so I don't know how it would look. In the middle, an eyebrow piercing in the middle. Yeah, like right here. Just, I mean, this is not a brow piercing, whatever this one is. Snake bites are next on my list, but that seems like a bad suggestion here. Yeah, for sure. It's been 12 years. The middle in between the brows, the bridge. That's what you're talking about. I wish I was as symmetrical as you are. I am not symmetrical. This eye is lower than this eye. And, like, my nose is slanted this direction, which makes, like, this part of my lip, like, off balance or whatever. I don't know. They do have a 3rd eye piercing, but they usually grow out. That's the thing. I don't recommend to me any piercings that are going to reject. Eyebrow piercings have a tendency to reject. I don't know. Could I get my bridge pierced? That would be kind of cool. Right here? Or on my right brow? This one? One nose ring. Which side? I've always thought, I'm like, I think I'm done with facial piercings, but I don't know. Piercings don't heal very well for me, so maybe I should just switch on to tattoos for a while. Oh my gosh, anyway. I'm happy enough with my ear piercings. Yeah, like, I didn't think I was gonna ever get my ear pierced a second time, but now I do, and I'm like, damn, I like that. If I wasn't wearing the claws earlier, I would have switched these hoops out for a different set of earrings, but I was like, there's no way I'm gonna get these out without hurting myself. I have just one nostril pierced and it works well with my not symmetrical face. Do you think it would look good on my left? You think it would look good on my... This is my right side. This is my right, which is the side that is like, you can see more of my nose. And this is my left, where it's more tucked in. Like, you know, hidden. I might get another set of ear piercings at some point in the future. I like the idea of getting cartilage piercings, but I don't think they would heal very well on me. Okay, back to the survey. Good luck, Slaps Hungry Bears. Be careful with filling out the US Trans survey, because if you accidentally hit the back button, it will erase all of your progress. What's up, Nyx the Phoenix? Happy Halloween. Happy belated Halloween. I don't want cartilage pierced. Yeah, I just mostly think that my cartilage would not heal very well. So anyway, I keep saying, like, let's get to the next news segment, and then I get distracted because I'm enjoying having a little bit of downtime on the stream. My industrial never healed, so after like 2 years of fighting, I took it out. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, it took these little tiny piercings long enough to heal. These 2 little ones. I got them in February, and they were still like actively bleeding a couple months ago. It was not, like, it was not going well. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, oh my God, I want to move into this segment because this is going to give me an opportunity to rest my voice a little bit. Oh my God. So for the next bit here, did you all know that Caitlyn Jenner is still a thing? Did you all know that not only is Caitlyn Jenner still a thing, but she's out here like talking smack on other trans people? Because one would think that either she would fade into obscurity or at least stop talking shit on other people, you know, like at the very minimum. Yeah, Caitlyn Jenner in the news again. Here we go. As per usual. Get my tabs ready. Get my tabs ready. My tabs. Get my tabs ready.
It's day 233 of being a girl in this video.
Stop. Okay, we'll get to that in a minute. All right, shush. She's an a-hole conservative now. Yeah, very unfortunate. I almost forgot about her. I'm sorry, Kansan Capybara, for reminding you about Caitlyn Jenner's existence. Related subject, you've also lost the game. So Caitlyn Jenner tweeted, well, she quote tweeted Marsha Blackburn, which can we just all say, like, I remember this lady. We don't like her. She has a bad, stupid face, and we don't like her at all. She's very annoying and also conservative, and she's from Tennessee, which not everybody from Tennessee is terrible, but she is. So we have already watched this, I believe, on stream. You know, we can, you know, actually this, I don't think we've actually watched this on stream before because we talked about this last week a little bit. And so this is sort of an addendum segment to what we talked about last week. But yeah, we will go ahead and watch this video because, like, oh, Marsha Blackburn tweets like, Dylan Mulvaney, Joe Biden, and radical left-wing lunatics want to make this absurdity normal. Like, okay, well, what is the absurdity? Let's figure out what's so abnormal and weird that we can't handle it on the internet.
Day 74 of being a girl. Round of applause for the makeup. And I wore this outfit shopping today. And I thought that these might be my new shopping shorts. But I was walking around and everyone was staring. And I was like, oh, okay, what's going on? And they were all staring directly at my crotch. And I went, oh, I forgot that my crotch doesn't look like other women's crotches sometimes because mine doesn't look like a little Barbie pocket.
I can see a lot of TERFs taking a lot of issue with that, but I think it's funny.
And I thought, okay, Dylan, you have some options here. Number one, you can stop wearing clothes that fit like this and just find looser fitting items. Number two, I can do a tuck, which is going to have to be a whole other video, but it's very painful and involved Or number three, I just normalize it. And I wear clothes like this, and we all just normalize women having bulges sometimes. Because we're coming up on bikini season, baby. And you might see a bulge or two. So, normalize the bulge. We are normalizing the bulge. Women can have bulges, and that's okay. We're not gonna stare at their crotches while they're wearing their little shopping shorts at the mall. Oh, thank you. Love you. Bye.
Bless her so much. I do find this singing a little bit cringe. Let women wear cod pieces. True. Personally, I'd go for a skirt over the lederhosen. Yeah, so she's just... Dylan Mulvaney is just a fun TikToker who makes light of her gender transition. It's a difficult thing. She's very early. She's still like less than a year out. So, yes, I do find this singing a little bit cringed. I don't know why. That's just me. I'm not. Yeah, let women be cringe. True. So that's like why Dylan Mulvaney is a subject of. By the way, can I just say what a big dick move it is, forgive the expression, for using what is presumably your dead name as your just actual name. Like, I don't know if Dylan is Dylan's dead name. If it is, like, big flopping dick on the table energy. Like, I just have mad respect for people who are like, you can't dead name me. Like, not possible. Or I think it also would be really funny if her dead name was like Josh and she picked the name Dylan. Like, that would also be very funny to me. But regardless of that, we have this tweet from Caitlyn Jenner saying, "Oh my God, Marsha Blackburn, thank you for speaking out and having a backbone. One of the best senators we have. Let's not normalize any of what this person is doing. This is absurdity." They both use the word absurdity, to be clear. Like, Caitlyn Jenner does not have a single original thought in her head. Just use the same word, absurdity, as Marsha Blackburn. So not a single original thought in her head. Maybe she's a pickle and her new name is Dylan. That makes me want pickles. Shh, stop making me crave pickles. So I also happened to see this other, wait, the first reply? What are you talking about? Let's not normalize things like getting away with vehicular manslaughter. It's fucked up. Anyway, Donald Trump Jr. tweeted, "The Democratic Party in a nutshell. In a country of approximately 350 million people, a middle-aged bio male who transitioned to female about a year ago is the person chosen to go to the Oval Office to talk with the president about being a girl. That's who they think is the best fit." I agree. Why don't you take Zinnia Jones, who's been out for the last 10 years and at one point participated in a pride parade standing in for Chelsea Manning while Chelsea was still in jail. Let her be the one to speak at the presidential whatever, like someone who's been out for a long time. That's one part of this that I can agree with. The rest of it is bullshit. But then this random person says, like, wait, you guys had Caitlyn Jenner. And then Caitlyn says, "I'm not trying to normalize any of this, especially this BS. I'm a proud mega MAGA. And guess what? There is room for everyone in our movement. This TikTok person is just absurd." Again, she, like, the same word twice now from Caitlyn, which she stole from Marsha Blackburn. Did she just not know the word absurd until Marsha Blackburn said it? And now Caitlyn Jenner is like, it's like when you learn a word in your English class and you're like, oh my God, this word is amazing. And then you just, for the next like 12 to 13 days, every time you get the chance to use the word ameliorate, you're using the word. You know, you're talking to your brother and you're like, we really need to ameliorate the conflict between us, my brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God, calm down with your 8th grade book report for just Jesus Christ. Furthermore, there is an article from the New York Post. Was there anything of substance in here that was different to what we've already seen? Jenner lambasted a TikTok trans rights activist. Dylan Mulvaney, trans TikTok content creator, spoke with President Biden at the Youth Summit. Her appearance generated media attention. In a video filmed earlier this year, she explained that she got unusual stares in public. Yeah. Is there anything else in here that's of use? Nope, there's nothing in here of use. Okay, cool. So Caitlyn Jenner said, "There is a difference between acceptance and tolerance, and normalizing exposing your genitals in a public way and in a public place. I do not support that at all in the slightest. Dylan, congrats. You're trans with a penis." Like, oh no. I'm sure she didn't know that she was trans and also had a penis. I'm sure she had no idea. Wow. Girl, what? Yeah, she didn't expose herself. Like, it's a fucked up, disingenuous thing to be like, you know, you exposed yourself to people in public. Like, I was wearing underwear and shorts, actually, you fucking sociopath. Hold on, there was someone in the comments here that I saw. Stop. I don't want to see fucking Elon Musk tweets. Come on. There's this new thing happening where you hit show more replies and it only loads 2 more tweets. And then the more tweets segment is still at the bottom. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to see what Elon Musk's like terrible leather outfit looks like. Anyway. Yeah, this was the one in the comments that I saw. Never expose your bulge in public, right? it's different because she's a hypocrite. Here's another one. And this one. Oh dear Caitlyn. Oh dear sweet Caitlyn. Anyway, so that's the clowning on Caitlyn Jenner portion of the stream. Got him. Yeah. So I do want to take a moment to focus on Dylan's response, because Dylan is a gracious, just relentlessly positive person, and I love her for that, and I love them for that, because Dylan's pronouns are she/they. So I appreciate Dylan's spirit, we'll say. I will have some more commentary to make as we watch this response, because Dylan posted a 5-6-ish minute video on her TikTok, and this is just a response to Caitlyn Jenner and all the sort of buzz that's been going on. So the reason that I wanted to do this segment is so that I could rest my voice a little bit while we listen to what Dylan has to say. If you're here and you have not yet hit the like button for me real fast. It's free for you, super easy, helps the channel, and we'll get into talking about this next little video. All right, we have her on TikTok. Let's see.
Video is for Caitlyn Jenner. It's day 233 of being a girl, and this video is for Caitlyn Jenner. If you're not Caitlyn, keep on scrolling. But if you do stay, I don't know, grab a beverage. Hi, Caitlyn. I'm Dylan, and we are two of the most privileged trans women in America at the moment. And with that comes a lot of responsibility. And although we have very different views on most things, a few days ago, I probably would have still been willing to sit down with you and try to connect with you in some way, because I automatically have a lot of respect for you as a fellow trans woman. But then you decided to ridicule me very publicly. And honestly, this tweet didn't faze me all that much. But then this one.
I really wish that people understood that sometimes they start shit with the, oh, we're going to have conflict between us. Like, you're too socially inept to understand, but you started it. Like, just, oh yeah, I forgot about this one tweet. Someone responded, and then Caitlyn Jenner says, he is talking about his penis. So, like, that's Caitlyn Jenner misgendering this other trans woman. Caitlyn Jenner later tried to walk this back.
And made me go, ah, not you calling me a he. That is just, oh, terrible. But then you didn't stop there. You said there is a difference between acceptance and tolerance, and normalizing exposing your genitals in a public way and a public place. I do not support that at all in the slightest. Dylan ... Congrats, you're trans with a penis. Girl, you're making me sound like I'm some creepy flasher exposing myself. I was wearing perfectly normal shorts at a mall, and I've never been great with sarcasm, but I do think that last line was probably not an actual congrats. And
she is so sweet. Like, I hate how sweet she is, because she is not going to make it in this world.
This moment, I am not as comfortable talking about my private parts as I was when I made that video, and it felt like I got outed. And I didn't fully know how to tuck that early on, and I was still wearing men's Calvin Klein underwear. But after that video, two amazing trans women gifted me tucking panties and taught me how, because they could tell I was struggling. And
yeah, she had said in the video, like, I would have to tuck, which is really painful and difficult. And some trans woman reached out to her and was like, here's how you can tuck. Here's the way to do it, like, safely and, like, without pain. And here's some underwear that will keep all your shit in place. So probably after this point, Dylan didn't go to the mall wearing the shorts with the penis in them. You know, she probably started tucking after this point.
I'm just curious if you can think back to your early days of transitioning and remember being embarrassed about your body or having strangers give you dirty looks. That's why I made that video, because I was embarrassed and I wanted to reclaim my body in a positive way. And now you've taken that. And
it's so deeply embarrassing to, like, know that people are staring at your crotch. Like, for me, it's never been a long lingering stare, but it's like, I'll be working at the gas station I used to work at, and I'll be up at the counter and then the person will ask for something and I'll walk away from the counter to like get their cigarettes or whatever, and then as I'm walking back I can see their eyes, usually twice.
And you've turned it into something really ugly. And I didn't start Days of Girlhood because being a woman sounded fun. I started this series because of the unspoken shame of being newly trans.
Like, so let's keep in mind again that one of the things that people criticize Dylan for is like, oh my God, they're making a mockery of womanhood with this like day 200 of being a girl. Today I went and did some stereotypically feminine thing. Like, she's doing it to be funny, to bring some light to it. She's also saying like, I did it because it sucks and it's shameful and I want to destigmatize it. I want to make it normal. I want to make it feel less like it's a bad thing to take pleasure in stereotypically feminine things that I was previously denied. Keeping in mind, trans women don't generally engage with stereotypically feminine things because they think being a woman is this caricature. It's usually because it was just denied them for an extended period of time. Like, so much time.
I still have so much to learn. And we come from very different generations, and you're so much farther along in your journey than I am. But I have cheered you on from the second you came out, truly. And I'm so happy that you've had the surgeries that you've desired. But I'm 25 years old, and I am on day 233.
Oh my God, she's only 25. Ah! Like, Jesus, no wonder. She is so young. I mean, she's only 3 years younger than me, but that feels so young to be meeting with the president and shit.
Can't even get bottom surgery right now if I wanted to. I haven't been on hormones long enough. And this whole situation makes me not want to share my surgical plans because there are so many trans women who don't have access to it, or they don't want it, and it doesn't make them any less of a woman. You know, funny enough, one of the only things that we do have in common is that I'm going to one of your surgeons. You know, I'm not as far along as you. Please be patient.
It's so gracious of Dylan. Like, I can't get over it. She's just so kind. And I don't think that her enemies deserve that.
And, you know, now that I think about it, I don't even think I have interest in getting to know you, because the way you use your platform to publicly degrade me, it told me everything I needed to know about you.
Oh my God. When a kind person says like, I think that told me everything I need to know about you. Like, oh my God, that's scathing though. It's scathing though.
And a trans person invalidating another trans person's transness is pretty evil in my eyes. Like, the call is coming from inside the house. It's coming off very selfish. You know, is no one else allowed to be trans? I, for one, am excited to welcome anyone into our community because I know how isolating it can be. In this whole situation, it feels like the movie Mean Girls. I mean, Halloween is right around the corner, so there's a costume idea for us, I guess. I don't know.
That is such a sweet thing, and that would be so funny. Like, if she could be, you know, if she was like, we could do Mean Girls, you know, like, it's like Mean Girls, you know, that's a costume idea for us, I guess. Like, oh my God, like, it's so sweet. It's so innocent, and I love her so much.
I digress. But you've been accepted by a group of people that clearly does not accept me. And nearly every day this week, I have been called a freak, a child predator, an absurdity. I am none of those things that your
She points absurdity, like you called me that.
Are painting me to be. And my question for you is, don't you feel a little lonely over there? These people that you're standing with, I don't know if they have your best intentions at heart, but they will use you to make me in the trans community life like a lot harder than it already is. And I would never tell any of my followers to go shame you for any of this or to misgender you. And if you're a follower watching, please don't go after Caitlyn, because I already know how difficult it is to be publicly trans. Yet you have personally subjected me to thousands and thousands of hateful eyes, a number of which could very well want to hurt me. And
that's the serious reality of the situation. And like, I don't know if Caitlyn will ever watch this, but I do appreciate Dylan's like forwardness, being like, the audience that you exposed me to contains people who probably want to actually hurt me. Like, not a cute, like, fantasies of there not being any trans people in the world someday, but like, no, people who fantasize about specifically murdering a trans woman like myself. Like, you know, you just can't. Yeah, the right wing is ramping up their violence. It's a bad time.
That's how much power you have. You were Woman of the Year. This is not Woman of the Year behavior.
Oh my God, the admonishment.
And some of the greatest people in my life are trans. Shouldn't we be doing everything in our power to make their lives easier? I haven't done nearly enough, but at least I'm trying. And I'm not going anywhere. This isn't some trend for me.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep trying to be happy and to build a beautiful life filled with other trans people.
I don't want to cry because I'm wearing makeup. But this is one of the things that like we have to try to work on as a community, like with ourselves and with each other.
The greatest people in my life are trans. Shouldn't we be doing everything in our power to make their lives easier?
This part.
I haven't done nearly enough, but at least I'm trying. And I'm not going anywhere. This isn't some trend for me. I'm going to keep trying to be happy and to build a beautiful life filled with...
Gonna keep trying to be happy and build a beautiful life filled with other trans people. Like, that's kind of just what you have to do. You have to just keep working on it. Like that's such a powerful sentiment that to me that it made me tear up every time I've watched this video so far.
Other trans people, and I hope that you too will start taking care of our community. You know, we have a lot of potential for positive change, the two of us, or we can make it a hell of a lot worse for all of them. Mm-hmm. So which is it going to be? You know, also, I do know it was just your birthday this weekend. Happy birthday. I think everyone should have a pleasant birthday, even you. You're a Scorpio.
Even you. Even you.
I'm a Capricorn. I guess we're just not compatible. Also, if we could just leave your daughters out of this, I would be very grateful because I do enjoy them and I would like to meet them one day. And lastly, also, no need to respond to this video. I am moving on, onward and upward, and I hope you do too. Okay, bye. It's day 230.
She is far too gracious. She gives the nicest passive aggression. Yeah, she's way nicer than I'd be. I agree with that, Baphomet. It's like a gracious roast. Dylan single-handedly making me want to download TikTok. Yeah, she's Midwest nice. When I was first watching this video, like, I guess this is a little bit morbid. It's a little bit morbid, but like my first thought after finishing this video with her like little thing at the end, like, it was your birthday this weekend. I hope you have a happy birthday. Everyone deserves a pleasant birthday, even you. Can we just move on from this from now on? Like, this is behavior that's going to get you killed. Like, as much as I like her, I like the passive aggression. I like the Midwest nice. She's like, you know, taking the high ground kind of thing. But also this girl is like definitely not one of the ones that's going to make it very far if shit gets real. And, we should protect. I guess is what I'm trying to say. We need to protect. What's up, but all is lost? Thank you. I am enjoying my day being a silly bean. Being a silly bean with my horns, and my shirt that I made, and my boobies, and my my nails. Horns. You mean she's shining too bright? I don't necessarily mean in the sense that she's calling too much attention to herself. I mean in the literal sense that she is not in a... She's got a lot of huge notoriety and too kind of a heart to have that much notoriety. Like, I think when the camps start getting set up, like, Dylan Mulvaney is going to be one of the first people that they go after. And I don't know that she is the kind of person who's got a Glock to defend herself, you know? Like, it worries me a little bit, this sentiment that we have that's like, ooh, if we're nice, then we're going to diffuse conflict, you know? The idea that Caitlyn Jenner is going to stop tweeting about Dylan Mulvaney after this video, not going to happen. It's for sure not going to happen. Caitlyn Jenner is going to keep tweeting about Dylan Mulvaney, even though Dylan said, like, this can be the end of this discussion, and there's no need for you to respond to this. Like, the conflict is going to continue. Because here's the thing that I noticed. I noticed something when I was trying to find the tweets for what Caitlyn had said about Dylan Mulvaney. I was like, oh, she only tweeted, it was only a couple days ago. I need to find it. Da, 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 da. So I started scrolling. This is Caitlyn Jenner's profile. I started scrolling and was like, what's going, like, let's see, like, oh, I see, we have a clip from Caitlyn Jenner on the television from Piers Morgan on October 31st. Okay, so yesterday, I guess she was on Piers Morgan or on a show that Piers Morgan was amenable to repost. So that's interesting. Let's see. There was another one. We've got a lot of Caitlyn Jenner posts this week, and I'm like, why is she posting and everything? Why is she posting? It's because she's had some media appearances. Here's another one. She had another one last week. This was posted on October 28th. Fox News commentary about the Paul Pelosi assault. You know, this is Caitlyn Jenner blaming Pelosi for not having better security. So Caitlyn Jenner has been on the news this week, and she's trying to drum attention from Twitter over to these other, you know, it's like a branding thing. She's appearing on television, making these commentaries about Paul Pelosi and about detransitioners or whatever. Like what the fuck ever else she's commenting about. I have no idea. Oh, this is about social media and Elon Musk being in control of Twitter. That's what this appearance is about. So yeah, she has been doing stuff and is like utilizing this moment of awareness or whatever to drum up support through Twitter. She's like, oh, did you see me on Fox News or whatever the fuck this show is with Piers Morgan? Like, you might have missed it if it weren't for the fact that I started tweeting a bunch of unhinged shit. Anyway, I'm gonna get another beer. I'll be right back. Ooh, babe. Would living a nomadic lifestyle be safer for someone being targeted and being threatened with violence? No. Jimsy, look up the Romani people. You might know them as gypsies. That's a racial slur. You shouldn't call people that. Generally, you shouldn't say that. But the Romani people, Roma, that's like people who are travelers or nomadic by lifestyle, like also do not get. Your mic is a little fucked up. Is my mic a little fucked up? Someone tell me if my mic sounds fucked up. It seems fine on the back end to me. I don't know. I'll find out when I try to edit this later, I guess. I feel like I don't like Dylan as a person, and that has nothing to do with their being trans. What do you dislike about them, Mountains of the Moon? Your sound is glitchy. If you all on YouTube are having glitchy issues, just hit refresh. Refresh the page. Let me know if things are still doing that. Okay? I can't believe I actually saw a market stall where a crafty white woman had the word gypsy in her business name. Wow, boy howdy, let me tell you, being at the Renaissance Festival is weird. Because there's a lot of business. There's not as many businesses as there used to be with the word gypsy in it. But, you know, like I used to know the person who owned Gypsy Jewelry. But yeah, no, generally speaking, nomadic lifestyles are not going to make you safer. Gayfesh said the angry bitter transes are the ones who developed the calluses to survive. The nice ones either don't stay nice or don't stay alive. What you don't know about me is that I'm not actually a very nice person. And that's why I'm still alive. I always think everything might be a trap. That's why I'm still alive. Princess Bride, anybody? Anybody? Princess Bride? Refreshing fixed it. Holla. I'm so glad that was an easy solution. Told you. Told you. Dylan reminds me of myself in some ways, and that feels weird with someone speaking as soft as I am in a situation like that. To blathe. Everyone knows to blathe means to bluff. Okay, I'm gonna fucking lose it if I go too far on there. Okay, listen. It's only mostly dead. Now all dead. Oh, all dead. Nothing you can do. I gotta stop. I gotta cut it out. The Princess Bride is like one of the best movies of all time. Of all human time. When I get done with this stream, I might watch The Princess Bride. It's so good. Oh my god, I love it. I want a Muppet Princess Bride. I don't want that at all. Rodents of unusual size? I don't think they exist. I saw someone in a rat costume at Ren Fair this year, and I almost made that comment to my partner. I think that maybe he was just not with me at the time. I wanted to be like, rodents of unusual size? I don't think they exist. And I like the idea of doing that kind of shit like loudly when the other person can hear you. You're like talking about them. I'm such a menace at the Renaissance Festival. Ah! I've not seen that movie. The Princess Bride is so good. It's so worth watching. Like it's impeccable. There's a MUD I play, text-based precursor to MMOs, and I single-handedly campaign to get all the gypsy mobs and areas renamed. Nice. Oh my god, excuse me. I am a burpy boy. Burpy boy. Oh, I guess just want to call attention to this since we're on the page for it right now. It says Caitlyn Jenner apologizes after misgendering transgender TikTok star. Misleading headline. You have to read my full statement, which says Miss Gender has no further comment on the matter and stands by her statements otherwise. And then she says, someone on my team called Dylan he. That is what was regretted and has been handled internally. And that was what we were looking at before when there was this message in here that was like, he is talking about his penis. That's a Caitlyn Jenner quote. Stop playing. That is a Caitlyn Jenner tweet that she must have deleted now, but she says he is talking about his penis. So she's claiming someone on her staff said that, but as far as her Twitter account is concerned, like she's representing herself as herself on her Twitter account, you know? And I agree with you with Otro. I don't believe Caitlyn at all on that one. Could not even apologize. Yeah, it's sad. Like, it's fucked up. You can't even manage to apologize. Miss Jenner sounds like misgender. It does. That's funny. I've never seen The Princess Bride. I know I would like it. I just haven't gotten around to it. Take the time. Like if you like, it's an old movie. It's like a movie from the 90s, so it's only a like 90-minute movie instead of being like a 3-hour movie. Stop it. You've managed to get all. Listen. Hey. Listen. You've managed to go through all stream without doing this. Stop it. You see my nail? Isn't it pretty? And this nail is also pretty. Anyway, stop it. That's got to be someone's kink, like being pointed at. I used to have family members who were like, I really hate when people point at me. So it's got to be someone's kink. Was that get a little CBT kink in there? Squish, squish, squish. Every day I inch a little bit closer to a hyper focus on how to get out of the US. I'm gonna like, I've signed my lease. I'm gonna move into my apartment next month. I have 1 year in that apartment. And I think by the time the next lease comes around, I'm gonna be ready to get the fuck out of here. Like I'm gonna be looking out at what's happening at the 2024 elections. It doesn't seem like it's gonna go well. Or the midterms, the 2022 elections, and then the next 2 years, seeing how things are gonna look at that point. It looks like a witch. I've got you, my pretties, or an Italian hand gesture. The Italians. Yes, Cade, the chat is on my website. The top link in the description will take you to my website. Although I do still pay some attention to the YouTube chat, just a little bit less, generally, a little bit less attention to the YouTube chat than my website. But this is not Twitch. I don't stream on Twitch because I call myself a fag too much. And I can't be on Twitch. I've heard that they're better about that now, but I don't want to deal with the many other difficulties that and restrictions that come with being on Twitch. Like, most of my revenue comes from direct donations and stuff. Thank you all very much for your donations and all of that kind of shit. It's the beginning of the month. I know everybody's just paid their rent. No worries. You know, in a week or two, it'll pick up. No worries. But it's not even like, as long as I'm able to stream, it doesn't matter if YouTube demonetizes me a little bit, because like I get most of my money through donations. So twitch.tv is lame anyways. True. Website chat is best chat. It's the cool kids chat for sure. The greatest thing about the website chat is that you can set your pronouns. If you go into your account settings, like if you're on the website chat, if you're on the website, up here, there's a button that says account. And if you click the account button, you can adjust your pronouns, and then people can tell what your pronouns are. There is no such function in the YouTube chat. Yeah, do it. Jimsy, go into account settings, select your pronouns from the drop-down menu, and then hit the green save button, which is going to be at the bottom right. Okay? And then come back. I just moved too, says Stickboy. Broke up with my long-term partner. Got a year to figure out my next step as well. I don't think we're breaking up exactly. But yes, my partner wants me to move out, which is why I'm moving out, which is what this is about. This goal thing is because in a month I'm going to be moving out and I need a bed. What's up, Sapien? Sapien says, I think Dylan deserves a lot more credit. She's had a lot of harassment from tons of right-wing pundits, and I think her tactical positivity is being mistaken for naivete. That's fair. I will accept that criticism. There is a distinct... Hey, Christy. Hey, how are you, Gorge? Hey, Gorge. Hey, how are you? I don't know why, Christy, you always get such a giant welcome into the stream, but you do. You elicit that energy from me. Thank you, Gorge. But yeah, I just feel like I guess I am worried that Dylan is not going to be the kind of woman who can put on tactical gear and be ready to elbow someone in the face. You know what I mean? It looks like you're pointing at the horns instead of the money meter. The money meter. Oh, give me money, please. Kidding. Donations are always appreciated, but I'm no beggar. I work for tips, babe. I do think that I agree. I'm acknowledging Sapien as much as I keep getting distracted. There is a lot of harassment that she has gone through, and I do think that there is a tactical goal in being positive and like instead of being retaliatory. But I mean, that's like a power of women though in general, isn't it? Like it's a power of women to diffuse the anger and the tension. It's sort of a power that women take to take the stance of non-aggression in the hopes of de-escalating, right? So I guess in that way she's learned her social role fairly well. I wish you could keep the horns. I do wear them other times. Like I've worn them other streams. Oh. Can you guys hear that? Oh, that's nice. I like that a lot. Oh, wow, I gotta stop doing that. That's too nice. Can you hear it through your skull? No, I can't. Get one of those ASMR dual mic setups. How expensive do you think that is, Gayfesh? How expensive do you think that is? Because I have no idea. I've never looked into it, but I bet that it would be expensive. Yeah, with the silicone ears, like the fake silicone ears and everything, so I can go like... right into the, yeah, probably 4 figures. Clicky scratchy ASMR. Oh, Timerinia. Oh my god. Good night, Spider. Just Timerinia, you said I love the clicky scratchy ASMR and not whatever that was. Oh no, that was really funny. The silicone ear is going to be the most expensive part. Oh my god, thank you, Christy. You clipped my laugh. Oh my god, I really don't laugh genuinely on stream very often, so that felt good. Thank you for triggering my misophonia. I'm having too much fun. Oh my gosh. Good lord. Oh my god. Okay, we finished talking about Caitlyn Jenner, okay? Mics can be expensive. There's a person who makes cool mics out of shotgun shells that aren't too expensive and are a vibe. You got to be careful about buying electronic products post-market, all right? Because electronic device, like your electricity is horrendously dangerous, actually, all the time, forever, perpetually, always, unless it's under 50 volts, in which case, fine. But if you're plugging something into your wall at your house, it's dangerous, 100%. No caveats to that. So if someone is like tinkering with electronics and making aftermarket parts, like a whole ass microphone, potentially problematic for your electricity purposes. I say as I'm considering making like LED wall art myself. Anyway. Oh my god. That's the first ASMR that hasn't given me misophonia. Nope, there it is. Sorry, Skylar. I'm having too much fun. Oh, it's a professional thing? Okay. It might not be UL listed, but it's professional. Oh my god. Okay, I will stop touching my horns. I'm such a horny bitch. I really can't deal with wet sounds. I did a disgusting sound on purpose. It's kind of like, because sometimes in the ASMR people will they'll go like they're gonna nibble on those ears or like they're gonna lick them, and it's like all up on like the ear of it, and you're like, oh, because you can hear it in your ear. You're like, stop it. And Jolly, thank you so much. Stuck again in the pits of depression, but love seeing you smile and hearing you laugh. I'm glad that I can help a little bit. You know, like, if you're looking at me and I'm smiling, then there's a likelihood that you're smiling. I really want to pet the horns. The interesting thing about the horns is that they actually are, because they're 3D printed, there's also this other texture, which I'm going to try to see if you can hear this texture. Because there's layer lines, like there's really thin. So there's just some interesting texture things, in addition to the broader like clickiness. Anyway, like a cricket, it is a little bit crickety. Yeah, you can hear it. Yeah. This microphone is built for picking up voices and not for picking up any other noises. So it's really meant to hear me going like. I was trying to do opera. I just don't know any opera. But it doesn't really hear like when I bring my ocarina out and I'm like. And I'm playing Zelda music on my ocarina. My microphone's like, bitch, I don't know who you're talking to. I had no clue what anyone was talking about until I turned my headphones up. Yeah. It's not like an easily detectable sound. It is ASMR. The whole point of ASMR is you turn up the volume. How much was your mic? I don't know. It was a gift. I don't know, but it's expensive. This is like a $500 microphone. And then also like the $500 Go XLR is a whole separate entity. Oh my gosh. I need some new headphones. The left ear is barely working anymore. My issue with headphones is that, like, I have these headphones, but like they don't work for me because I have piercings. I have these like piercings in my ears that are like, they're not as bad now that I switched to silicone, but like it like smushes my piercings into my face in a way that hurts. And so I need some, I need some headphones that are like really significantly over the ear, like this, like that, you know? Just after you've been pointing, I'm now getting recommended videos of people pointing at me. Not even just Google listening, Nix. That's Google watching. Have you already talked about bathrooms? Skylar, I was actually just looking at my final 3 items that I have on the list for today. One of them is about someone being harassed in a bathroom. I also have ex-detransitioner speaks out against anti-trans movement. And I also have Florida banning trans healthcare for youths. Now we're getting to that 3-hour mark. We're getting close to that 3-hour mark where I tend to start getting really fucking tired. So I'm thinking maybe we'll do one more actual important news segment, and that'll push us out to about like 3.5 hours, and then I'll go ahead and call it for the night. So I think we'll go ahead and do the bathroom discussion now, because that seems like the one that's going to take us the least amount of time to kind of get through. So we're going to talk about bathrooms. We talked about Caitlyn Jenner already. We did not talk about detransitioners. We might save that for next week. I had a detrans person get really pissed off at me for my clickbaity title video. Did you unfollow me? No, she didn't unfollow me. Okay, well, there's that. Oh my God, I'm going to need to get done. You've heard of finger fetishes, now get ready. You've heard of foot fetishes, now get ready for finger fetish. Finger fetish. Finger fetish. That's what that is. Anyway. Oh my God. Okay, I need headphones for this one. I was still thinking about doing Fetish Fridays. Foot Fetish Fridays. Can I just say for the record, you look super, super gorge tonight. Thank you, Christy. Thank you. Oh my God. I'm feeling super gorge. Like, I have this like red and then the black eyeliner, and I have red and black lipstick. Oh my God. Oh my God. Save her for the Fansly. That's what I'm saying. I'm putting up some Fansly pictures probably tomorrow. I'm going to get them all edited and cute tonight and then send them out tomorrow. And then like maybe later this week, I'll go ahead and do some feet ones. Hands are pretty sexy though, I gotta say. Oh my God. All the detrans talk recently has unlocked the memory where I detransitioned for 1 year during high school. Wow. Cosplay sounds fun, also expensive. Yeah, if anybody wants me to cosplay on my Fansly, you're gonna have to subsidize that 100% because I am not going to try to do that. Not going to try to do that. Wearing the long nails just makes you want to do stupid ASMR shit. Okay. Oh no. The ASMR scraping your horns earlier unironically made me pass out at my desk. No. I love the glass tapping. It's a tiny little cup. Let's get an empty beer glass. And then I have another glass over here. Hold on. You dampen it by holding it up high. This one is so musical. Long nails makes for good guitar picking. Hard disagree, Jimsy. Oh, if you hold the glass at the top. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, I don't like that sound as much. This one is more ringy. Dang, I thought I had bad reaction to ASMR. I just want to puke and punch things. Well, when you got, like, hold on. Fair warning, we're doing another one of these slurpy ones, okay? Ready? We're just like... Okay, I'll stop. But, like, you know, if you're doing the shit like that, obviously it's not gonna sound good. Whereas, like... That one doesn't resonate very much. Sometimes ASMR makes me go Mr. Girl and I get so relaxed. Wait, when you didn't say Mr. Girl, it makes you go Murgler. You became a Murloc temporarily, not Mr. Girl. I used to watch ASMR mukbangs just because they make me sleepy. Cursed misreading. Yeah, no, I misread. Only 2 seconds of fair warning is not good enough. Okay. We're gonna do one more for real segment, okay? We're gonna do one more for real. We're actually talking about something that matters, okay? My mice noticed the sounds too, and they are squeaking some. That's so funny. I've never been able to get my cats to really react to, like, anything that's going on the TV. I was trying to get Lucifer to notice, like, birds on the phone before he passed away, but then he died, so I don't have the ability to experiment with that any further. It's been a couple of months now since he died. Sad. Sad. Yeah, he's my good baby, though. I still have his box of ashes over here. The Coca-Cola sound made the mice squeak. This one? My cat is mad at me today because I gave him flea stuff. Yeah, I saw your tweet, Gayfesh. You were like, I get why they call it flea stuff, because when I put it on my cat, it makes him flee. Anyway. That's probably for the best, so I'm not tempted to pet him. It's like wet on their skin and they can feel it and they get mad at you. For sure. Okay, I guess so. We're gonna do this one last segment. Jimsy, good night. Gotta go. Thank you, Lynn. I appreciate you. I hope you have a wonderful night. Heck yeah. And it's a neurotoxin, so you don't want to touch it. Yeah, the flea stuff is a neurotoxin. The deadly neurotoxin. I don't know any of GLaDOS's lines, but that's what I was going for. Okay. I saw this crazy video. I don't know if you all have seen this crazy video, but I saw this crazy video of a cisgender woman, a quote-unquote natural woman, being harassed in the bathroom by another cisgender woman for looking like really like gender non-conforming, I guess. She was just inappropriately, unacceptably gender non-conforming. And this lady decided to take an issue and harass her, and we're going to watch it. We're going to take a little bit of a moment here to see what occurred in this interaction, okay? This text on the screen says, "I knew she was talking about me, so I started recording. Today, a woman thought I was trans and harassed me for using the bathroom. Trying to mentally prepare myself before leaving the stall, knowing that she was going to approach me. She's venting about trans people and people's gender identities." So at this point, this cis woman is within the stall. She has pulled out her phone, and right now she's recording audio as she prepares to leave the stall. Something about being confused in there.
not allowed. If this is a big thing right now, get it to the family.
This is a good thing right now? Question mark.
And get them a chair. This is not allowed.
This is not allowed, or something like that is what she just said.
I want to pee in front with my ribbon. Yeah, I would come out if I were you. Huh? No, I'll go.
It's really indistinct at this. I want to pee in private with my women, she says. Okay, yeah, like it's not very distinct to me through the headphones. Oh, she said, I wouldn't come out if I were you. Really? The person in the stall says, I will come out if I will. She didn't understand what she was saying. I wouldn't come out if I were you, is apparently what she was saying there. She wants to pee in private, but she's waiting outside while someone else does. She's leaving the stall now.
Boy. It's a boy. It's a child.
It's a boy. It's a child. First of all, using it's. If you want people to use it's, like I do, that's fine. But if you impose that on someone, it's very fucked up. And the way that she spits the word child.
Boy. It's a boy. It's a child.
It's a child. Just going to the sink, like totally not bothering anybody, just has the phone in hand, just going to the sink.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
Are you a man or a woman?
Why does that matter?
This person just like sidles up to the... Hi. How are you? Are you a man or a woman? Like, there are so many people in my mind that I can imagine sidling up to you all fake, being like, how are you? Are you a man or a woman? Like, I don't know why, but for some reason in my head, there's like, that's RGR. Like, I can just see RGR being like, hi, how are you? So, like, I don't know why, it sounds like an RGR thing to do.
Well, because you're in the ladies' room.
Why does that matter? Well, because you're in the ladies' room. Hold on. I'm taking it back a little bit. Sorry, I keep interrupting.
How are you?
I'm good.
Are you a man or a woman?
Why does that matter?
Well, because you're in the ladies' room.
Okay.
And I have gotten called out several times for being in the men's room.
Well, you're in the ladies' room, and I've been called out several times. I had to lose my horns for that one. For being in the men's room. Yeah, why was she in the men's room? Why is she using that as some sort of gotcha? I'm done with the horns for tonight. Like, she's just like, the horns couldn't deal with the sass. I was too much sass. The horns had to come straight off. She's like, I have gotten called out several times for being in the men's room. Like, what the fuck are you doing in the men's room? First of all, why do you, like, you're using the fact that you've used the men's room inappropriately to justify you now calling out a woman in the bathroom. Like, just fucking, Okay, hold on.
Okay.
And you're going to be called out for whatever you're doing.
And you're going to be called out for whatever you're doing. Which, keep in mind, was her coming into the bathroom, taking a piss, and then going to wash her hands, and then getting accosted by this lady.
So what are you identifying as today?
What are you identifying as today? Well, clearly fucking, I'm in the women's room, you dipshit. If this was a gender fluid person, like, what are you identifying with today? Well, clearly I identify with being in the fucking women's room, you dumb cunt. Oh my god.
I don't think that's any of your business.
Okay, it's not. So you're in the ladies' room where I think I need to identify you.
I think I need to identify you. For sure.
You do not need to identify me.
Is that right? How old are you?
Doesn't matter.
Really? Okay. Well, we'll wait for the police to come and pick you up.
Okay. Let's wait for the police to come.
Yeah, because this is not the way you play your shit. Go down on the strip and try to do it there.
Keep it, like, notice what she just said. You play your shit, go down on the strip and try to do it there. She already said, it's a child. And now she's making insinuations that there's sex work happening. Like, you go down on the strip and you play it there. You do it there. She's talking about Vegas. Yeah, like she's talking about going down, maybe not Vegas, but she's definitely talking about going down to downtown or whatever, go work the strip. Like she thinks she's speaking to a child. It's in Vegas. Thank you. She thinks she's speaking to a trans person who is also a child and saying like, if you want to go do your weird sex work shit, go do that somewhere else. But if you're going to be in the women's room, you can't act like that. Like, what the fuck?
Don't do it up here. This is a suburb. Not allowed.
Not allowed.
Not allowed. Yeah, you think you're going to be a woman? It's okay. And be a man? It's okay.
These people are just like so old. It's so obvious that they have completely no ability to understand. Like she is pegged to this, she's just decided that this person is gender fluid. Oh, be a woman, be a man. Like change it every day if you feel like it. What's up, Raven? Sorry.
You're going to be a woman? It's okay. And be a man? It's okay. No. Figure out your identity in your bedroom.
Figure out your identity in your bedroom. Oh, you can't see. Too bad. You're not allowed to see. This is all we're looking at anyway, is the feet. Are you trying to look at her feet?
Okay? And then project it on everybody else and we'll accept it. This is not acceptable.
Let's go get security.
Yeah.
Let's go get security. I love that.
I feel harassed. She's harassing me for being in the bathroom.
What's going on?
Well, I'm asking her what her identity is.
It's my girlfriend. So full on
Yes,
woman.
it's your girlfriend, so it's a girl.
It's your girlfriend, so it's a girl. Like look at this, like immediately respecting the cis man's opinion, like as though him saying this is my girlfriend would negate the fact that she's trans if she was trans. Like, I mean, yeah, Timerania, don't like. She's just don't get caught up on the it's on that instance. Like, this is my girlfriend. Like my girlfriend has arrived. It's my girlfriend. She's arrived. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Don't get caught up on that right now. Okay. Auditory processing struggles. Yeah, it's so misogynistic. Yeah, TERFs are it's like super misogynistic, and as soon as a dude steps in, she's chill. Yeah,
Doesn't matter. Step back.
just like the immediate. Hold up.
What's going on?
Well, I'm asking her what her identity is.
It's my girlfriend. So
She's my girlfriend, or did he say she's my girlfriend?
it's my girlfriend.
She's my girlfriend. He said she's my girlfriend. And then yeah, as soon if the boy was a good boyfriend, he would say my girlfriend, even if the girl was trans. So like this person is like, I demand to know what you are. And it's like, well, he could have just said she's my girlfriend, and that could be a trans girl with a dick, and that could still be like someone you think is not supposed to be in the bathroom, but now that the cis man has vouched for her, everything's okay. TERF is guilty of sexual harassment. I agree. I do agree that this is like sexual harassment, basically. This sounds like too many mimosas while doing slots kind of drunk. Maybe she was kind of drunk. I worry about this shit happening to me when I go into public bathrooms. I'm everything but present androgynous, and sometimes I get comments about being in the wrong bathroom. Yeah, it's difficult. I cannot say it's going to be easy. I just go and use whatever bathroom I think I look like that day, and then I don't speak to anyone. And that's kind of how I get through that experience. And I've always assumed that if someone asks me, like, are you supposed to be in here? I'll be like, I'm an adult and I know what bathroom to use. Thank you very much for your assistance. And then move on with my day. She sounded like some of the bitches I've met at dives and bars. I think I'll just never use a public bathroom again. It's tough. It's tough. But there was another thing I wanted to add to this. Yeah, so the GCs, the gender criticals, they're all like, we don't want men in our bathrooms. We have to make things safer for the WAMs, for the WAM. And consequently, they end up being like, usually like, don't give a fuck. Actually, on the surface, they'll say, just saw the latest video of a woman being harassed in a bathroom because her accuser assumed she was male. There are lots of gender nonconforming women, and there are even some who are desisting from trans identification. Keep kicking own goals and see how that goes down. I must add, I'm not part of a tribe. I have nothing to to gain from defending my side, and in fact, I'm one of those insufferable assholes who is only too happy to criticize my side and my allies. Tribes suck. Ideological Puritans suck. And Aaron Reed, of course, pointing out, you're taking your philosophy on its face value. You know, you're only saying this to prevent further backlash, because realistically, like, anti-trans lobbyist Corinna Cohn pleads with gender-critical followers to stop harassing cis women in bathrooms assuming they're trans. However, this is a direct result of a fear and hate campaign stoked by her participation, fighting for a world where trans identities are not stigmatized. TERFs consider misgendered cis women a, quote, acceptable collateral damage. This says, given the occasional fallibility of our capacity to sex others, in direct contradiction to the claim that they can always tell, arguing for same-sex spaces for females such as bathrooms, dormitories, and changing rooms means that sometimes females in those spaces will be missexed, and sometimes males in those spaces will not be perceived as such. We see the former as a regrettable cost that has to be balanced against and is nonetheless smaller than the greater harms to females. So, like, just to be totally clear, this is explicitly saying if females in the women's room, people who are assigned female, people who identify as women, females, all those clusters at the same time, if they are perceived as males sometimes, and even if they are encountering violence as a result of that sometimes, that is still a smaller harm than the general concept of cis females having to share the bathroom with transgender women. We see the latter as something that no open policy can do anything about, and which it would be illiberal to try to prevent. It would be illiberal to try to prevent males from entering the female spaces. But our saying this has no consequences for what we should say about the vast majority of cases of trans women who don't visually pass, and who therefore can be easily identified as male to nearly all other people. There was a butch TERF I saw who said that she uses the men's room because she, a cis woman, doesn't pass enough and does it in order to not make the daintier women feel unsafe. She's cucking herself to enforce gender norms that she herself doesn't engage with. Yeah, it's just super fucked up and sad. Using the women's room, if unisex is available, I'll use it. The assertion that trans women in bathrooms is inherently harmful is so absurd and upsetting. They really do think like the idea of a penis in their general vicinity, even if it's like a woman sitting down to take a piss in the toilet, like that's some egregious harm upon them. Like they will literally, like there was a comic, I think we saw the comic last week, of like there's like a woman like looking over the stall. She's like, I just want to make sure you're not some kind of pervert. Like, yeah, Jesus Christ. Okay. I've used the women's room at places where the restrooms are single occupancy and the men's was currently in use, because at that point, there's literally no reason for them to be gendered. I agree. Like, if it's a single stall situation, there's no reason for them to be gendered. Like, if you're worried about a cleanliness issue, then we should just normalize in America this thing that's been normalized in European countries, such as, I've heard, France. It's normal for there to just be cleaning products within the bathroom, and you clean the bathroom cursory little swipe up and everything, like when you're leaving. You go in the bathroom and take a piss or a shit, you just kind of like wipe things down on your way out. And if every person does that, then the bathroom never gets dirty enough to really require cleaning, except for maybe like mopping and like doing a deep clean on the toilet. Incredible. What a concept. I feel like in my Northeast area, when retail bathrooms are single stall gendered, no normal customer pays attention if they gotta go. I don't care. I'm so beyond not caring about which bathroom to use. Chaotic organized. You say cancers. Is this a word that I'm just not familiar with? They say, I don't know, I'd be afraid cancers would be in there all the time crying. What? I genuinely don't know if I look more male or female at any given time, so when neutral bathrooms aren't an option, I just choose one and pray I don't run into these people. Oh my god, it's true. Oh, you were referring to website chat. I see. You were trying to make jokes with website chat. Oh, bathrooms assigned by astrology. I just missed this part. Do you use the bathroom that correlates with your sun, moon, or rising? Oh gosh. I have no idea anything about any astrology nonsense. Okay. Ugh. I don't have any idea if I ended that segment in a way that makes sense, but I have to pee so bad, and I'm not going to come back and keep streaming. So I'm going to go ahead and say goodnight for tonight. I'm not even that tired, but you know what? We're going to save some of this content for later in the week. We've got some content saved up for later in the week. I so appreciate you all for being here. Subscribe if you haven't already. Check your notification settings. We will be seeing you on Thursday at 6 p.m. Central Time with some more news on Cody's Shody.